Boom, there we are. Hey, everybody, welcome into the High Noon stream here on the Radio Misfits Podcast Network. And, well, if you count this show, streaming platform. This is the first of two streams that we do each and every day. The High Noon stream, which is what you're dealing with right here. This is going to give you all of the headlines, topics, current events, the things people are talking about. We bring it to you each and every day. We want you to be up to date on absolutely anything that someone might approach you with and say, hey, did you hear about? And you can say, yeah, actually I did, because they touched on it on the High Noon show every Monday through Friday from noon to 5. We also double back later tonight at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. What did I say? Did I just say noon to 5? Wait a second. All right. The High Noon show. I'm going so fast, and I've got so many things going on. There's a lot going on right now. So let me just, okay. High Noon show every day, Monday through Friday, starting at noon. Then we double back Monday through Thursday nights, and we do a second stream of the night called Pillow Talk. That's me and James Parker. That's more conversational, whereas this is current events driven and hot topics, and this is designed to keep you up to date and give you sort of hot takes on whatever it is that's happening in the world. That's that's what this is. Then the Pillow Talk thing is me and James Parker. But however, you may have noticed since the war broke out, I've been doing these sort of just been jumping on and doing special wartime broadcasts, streams. Don't call them broadcasts. They are not broadcast. You are not casting broadly. You are streaming directly. Hi, Bill. I'm doing all right. Hi, Leslie. Happy Fat Tuesday. Happy Punchki Day. Hey, Byron. What's up, man? No, not getting all look at you, lackadaisical. Did you spell check that, Byron? Byron's like, hey, getting all lackadaisical with these start times. You had to spell check lackadaisical, didn't you? Because you wrote it out, and it came out with that red line under it, and you were like, I never had to spell lackadaisical before. There you go. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Some of us are strong enough to be able to celebrate Fat Tuesday every day of the year. Not you weaklings who just have the one holiday. Yeah, I know, because I'm looking at the spelling. Byron's absolutely, I spell check that. I'm looking at the spelling of lackadaisical, and I would not have spelt it that way. That's and I'm not saying, I'm just saying if I tried to sit down and write lackadaisical, it would not have been spelt that way. It probably would have been day as in D-A-Y, not D-A-I, not in the Latin day. Okay, hold on. Let me get settled here, because I was running around. I was doing oh boy, did I get behind. You know what I did? I had a crazy night's sleep last night. So I fell asleep. I told you about how grandma purchased a new Android TV for the kid, for when the kid comes here, because she couldn't handle the idea that the kid didn't have a TV, even though the kid just uses pads and stuff like that's how kids are these days. That's totally fine with that. However, he loves the TV. He's like, oh no, that's great, because then I can have it on the big screen right there. So grandma bought the kid a TV, and I have been streaming on the TV the live cams from Kiev that we've been watching here on the show. We've been checking in on what's happening in Kiev. We've been watching the live streams. And I fell asleep last night with the live cams on. It's very peaceful. It's very just like, these different boxes and all these different pictures, and the sound is up, but there's not a lot of sound. The sound that I was getting from the live stream as I drifted off into my slumber was the sound of wind, rustling past the microphone. It was very peaceful. It was very nice. And I fell asleep around 12:30 last night. And then I started having the craziest dream. I started having a dream that we were being attacked. It was straight up Red Dawn in my dream. It was, I was here, we were here, and I was watching these bombs drop all around, and the sirens were going off. We have air raid sirens apparently here in Highland Park, at least in my dream state we did. And the sirens are going off, and the dog is barking. The dog is going, ruff, ruff. And I'm like, calm down in my dream. And then I wake up, and the dog is literally barking at 1:00 in the morning, because the live streams I fell asleep to, the air raid sirens are going off. crazy. It was so crazy. I woke up, I'm like, oh, what the hell? And in my dream, I was just experiencing this attack. And then I wake up, and in the fog of my wake up, I'm literally here. I know I'm awake now, and I'm hearing, and I'm like, oh, what is happening? And I look up, and oh, okay. And the dog is going, oh, 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 oh. She's just barking, and I'm, oh, wow, that was weird. And so here's my conclusion. They've always said that, like, the dreams you remember are the dreams that happen within like 15 seconds of you waking up, that they're like you have like millions of dreams and they all just pop in and go away, pop in and go away. But the ones that you remember are the ones that literally just happened just before you wake up. You still have some semblance of a memory of those. I think that's true. I think that's true because I was dreaming in. Oh, sorry. I don't know if you heard that. That's the fog of snore. The fog of snore. Joe Burnson with the line of the day. It was the fog of snore. And so I left the cams on, and I just turned. I was like, okay, that's what it is. And I stayed awake for a little bit, and I watched it. And then the sirens went off in Kiev. It was like 2:00 in the morning or 1:00, whatever it was. I don't know. Fog of snore. I wasn't sure exactly what time it was. But I was actually considering, I'm like, okay, I got to watch this for a couple of minutes because if something happens, I'm going on the stream. If this is the beginning of the encirclement and the bombardment of Kiev, I don't care if it happens at 2:00 in the morning. There's going to be some people on YouTube at 2:00 in the morning. Maybe I'll get some new. Now you find, folks, the people who I depend on every single day that I do these streams. You weren't going to be there. Maybe some of you were. Some of you might be up, but most of you weren't. And I was like, fine, I don't care if I'm doing the show for like 3 Chechens and a guy in Australia. I don't care. I'm going to get on. I'm going to do this. So I'm trying to stay awake. And then the sirens stopped. And then I convinced myself, I said, well, if the sirens stop, I just got to wait 5 minutes because the sirens will precede any kind of military action that's about to happen. So I got up and went to the bathroom. And by the time I got back from the bathroom, they still hadn't. So I just went back to sleep and I fell asleep. And then it happened again at like 4:00 in the morning. Dog, I'm up. I'm like, oh, it's happening again. So that was my night last night. That was my night of sleep. But I'm going to do it again tonight because I don't really, I think it's cool that I can be asleep in my home. And I tweeted something last night. Those of you who follow me on Twitter, at Pugs and Co. The word "and" is spelled out. At Pugs and Co. I tweeted something last night late, and it was just such a reminder of what a bizarre ass world we live in. What a wild place this is. On one of the streams, on one of the webcam streams from Kiev, it was morning there. It was like 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and people were going about their morning rituals. And a car pulls up. Hold on. Got some noise here on the streams. Let me quiet these down. I can do it that way. And a car pulls up in front of this building. And the dude in his little, and it was totally one of those like Eastern European little cars. And he starts hitting the horn. And I'm just watching this guy. Meep, meep, meep. And he's waiting outside. He's obviously calling for somebody that's inside the building to come out. And he's getting frustrated. A couple of minutes go by, and they're still not there. Meep, meep, meep. And this is like one of the little boxes. It's one of the boxes with sound. So then he gets out of the car, and he stands, and he puts his hands on the roof of his car. And he's like, meep, meep, and then I hear just a disembodied voice. I don't know where it comes from. And I'm like, what? This guy, this typical woman, he probably told her exactly when he was going to show up. I don't know why they sound Italian, but that was just the thing that I did. And I thought to myself, what a weird ass world we are living in. Do you think this dude has any conception that there is some random dude in Texas just laying in bed trying to go to sleep, hoping that this chick gets down to the car because she's being incredibly rude? He was there on time. Meep, meep, meep. Let's go. Yeah. What a weird world. Thousands of miles away, I'm just laying in my bed and I am just watching this random occurrence that's probably happening concurrently a million places elsewhere in the world. People picking folks up for work and they're not ready and they come shuffling out. She finally did come shuffling out and she had like a bunch of bags. I don't know what was going on, but then he had to open the trunk and then they, and they pulled off and I felt like, that was pretty exciting. That is what's passing for excitement on the live stream. This guy upset that she wasn't ready when he came to pick her up. That's the world we live in. What a crazy world. Again, just a random guy. Like right now, they say everything is monitored. Okay, so I got one window open here and I can see this guy. Right now, is there some dude in Syria? Now they don't have satellites. Is there some dude in China, just randomly just going through different satellite images and he zoomed in on me? I mean, that's how weird it is. This guy had no idea. And I wasn't the only one. There was like 15,000 people watching that stream. So there's like 15,000 people around the world watching this guy. Come on inside. Me. Again, I don't know why I was doing Italian there, but all right. Let's see here. Let's get into some of the big headlines. First, should we pull up one of the cams while we do the headlines? Let's do that. Let's pull up one of them. Let me find a good cam for us. And that ain't a live cam. It says it's live. Is it live? It is live. I'm sorry. That would be live. It's dark out. It's definitely disappointing. Okay, that's not. You're saying it's a live cam and it's not. It's a feed of some. Do we like this one? Yeah, I think we like this. This is the one I was watching. Okay. Here we go. Let's pull up these live cams while I give you the latest headlines from the war. There we go. Some of these cams have changed. Which one has sound? Which one are they saying has sound? Okay, so they're saying it's cam 2 that is giving us sound. I don't see the cam where I was watching the guy, and I know I was watching it on this feed, this cam feed. But then again, it might be one of these bottom ones. It definitely was the one with sound, because you heard. That was his car. That's the little like Eastern European 2005 Yugo. Yeah, they probably still made Yugos in 2000. Do you remember Yugos? You remember those cars? You remember in the middle of the Cold War? What a bizarre thing that was. In the middle of the Cold War, Yugoslavia decided it was a good time to introduce to the American car market those little pieces of shit that all of the broke-ass Russian Soviets or whatever they were driving around. They were the Yugo. Do you guys, am I crazy? Some of you old enough, right? You guys remember Yugos. I think they cost like $500. They were like super cheap and you could get them. And they were great. I knew a number of people who just like bought them for their kids. And they didn't, I guess when they moved to America, they must have met some semblance of our safety precautions, but those cars were hysterical. My buddy, we see Mama Beller in here sometimes. Sally and Tom. Tom is her son. Tom was my buddy growing up. He still is my buddy. We just live, 1,000 miles away from each other. They had a Yugo. Tom used to drive to all the parties and we'd all cram into the back of the Yugo and it was bare bones, man. It was just like a crazy Eastern European Soviet shift. And the windows were all. I remember the windows didn't close properly. I think that was like you had to roll them up and then you had to pull them in because they didn't, But whatever, it was cool. It was cool because he was the only guy I knew who had a Yugo. If you can't afford a Porsche, you may as well go the ironic route and have a Yugo. The Yugo. And then they all went away. I don't know what happened with Yugos. Yugos used to be cars. They used to be cool. No, I guess they never were cool. They were cool ironically, I suppose. They'd be extra cool ironically if somebody had, oh, wow, I would do that. I always think about, because I have this buddy, Aaron, who makes cars. If you find like a car in a junkyard and you have enough money and you're a rich guy, because he only deals with rich guys, but if you find a car in a junkyard, he'll turn it into a beautiful mint condition, street racing badass machine. And I always think if I ever have a lot of money, what would I have him make? I want it like a 1985 Toyota Celica Supra, completely redone, because that's just when I was little, that car was awesome. I love that car. But I'd do a Yugo too. I'd have him do a Yugo with flames on the side. It'd be awesome. Okay, let's see here. These are where's all of my news? Yeah, Fast Outdoor Food remembers the Yugo. What the hell happened? Where are all of my hold on, where are all my notes? I'm having difficulty finding my notes on the war. Ah, who's that? I'm gonna go, let's go. That's what I was hearing yesterday. Oh, here we go. Okay. Let's try and be serious now, because we're going to talk about war. Let me have a sip of the mood and attitude transitioning coffee. By the way, first of the month, support the show. You got it. If you can support the show with a tip, we'd appreciate that. You can do it at any of those donations there. We do this every day, twice a day. We do it at noon. Then we come back. We do another one at Pillow Talk. All right, let's get into some of the things as we watch the nightfall on Kiev here on the live stream. Fred Pleiken of CNN, who is one of these guys who have just been killing it with the war journalism duties. He's out there. He's taking fire. Fred Pleiken says that the Russian Is there a guy in the bottom right? Is that a guy in the bottom right? It looks like there's a guy in the bottom right doing. Is this the guy dropping her off? Is this, or are they going out for drinks or something? Can't go out for drinks. That's one of the stories I'm going to tell you. No alcohol sales in Kiev and Lviv. Fred Pleiken says that the Russian advance on Kiev, the 40-mile-long convoy that we've been hearing about for the last 2 days, that everyone assumed was going to hit the outskirts of the city last night, didn't. The Russian advance on Kyiv remains basically where it was yesterday. This according to a senior U.S. defense official. The Russians are not only facing fuel and sustainment problems, but are showing signs that they are running out of food as well. This according to a U.S. defense official. Belarus is getting involved, even though the people in Belarus do not seem happy at all about it. Lukashenko, the dictator of the Belarus, who was put into power by Putin, is not popular. He's probably not going to survive this. However this whole thing shakes out, the next big issue with former Soviet puppet states that we may be facing is in Belarus, because it seems like those people, they are being inspired. The citizens of Belarus seem to be looking at the people of Ukraine and going, we can do that. Why can't we do that? Our guy's a douche. Let's get rid of him. Belarus is deploying more troops on its border with Ukraine. This according to the soon-to-be outgoing President Lukashenko. Ukraine does not rule out the possibility of a preventative missile strike on the territory of Belarus in response to the actions of the dictator. This comes from the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. As I mentioned before, there is now a ban on the sale of all alcohol in Lviv. Lviv is that city that is, and we'll take a look at the cities that are facing the most trouble today when we get to our map section. Ban on the sale of alcohol was introduced in Lviv in east or western Ukraine earlier this week.
Did you know that 85% of consumers look at a brand's reviews before making a purchase decision?
What the hell's going on here? All right, that must have been one of the live stream guys. He caught it in time. Yesterday, Kyiv banned all sale of alcohol, which makes sense. You want your people sober, and if you have people who are drunks and can't get their booze, you want them pissed off. You want them sober and you want them pissed off. So, although I'm not a big fan of prohibition in any way, shape, or form, this is different. Breaking, according to CNN, U.S. intel agencies' top priority at this moment is understanding Putin's state of mind. That's the question the whole globe is asking. So, ban on alcohol in both Lviv and Kiev. South Korea has announced today that they will be joining the sanctions game against Russia in the banking sector, including ending all cooperation with Sberbank, Sberbank, which is, I guess, a Russian bank, VEB and VTB, which are the big three banks there in Russia. South Korea has done this in response to other nations. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Financial Times, this is a big one. The Financial Times reporting today that China is shifting its stance of neutrality. They are ready to play a major role in a ceasefire negotiations. Quoting now a senior Chinese, let's see, who is this? Is a foreign minister. China respects all sovereign borders and is very concerned for the citizens of Ukraine. The shift in Beijing's public position comes after a call between the Chinese and Ukrainian foreign ministries. Okay, so that's happening today. Even China's going, Vlad, okay, I know we have this very tentative kind of friendship, but come on, man. We're trying to do business with the rest of the world, and we can't be seen as your buddy right now. According to the UN, more than 660,000 people have fled Ukraine since Russia's invasion began. Okay, this falls under the breaking headline. Breaking, Russia's invasion of Ukraine will continue until all goals are reached. This according to the Russian Defense Ministry. Next round of negotiations between Russia and Ukraine, the ones we had yesterday that went absolutely nowhere. It's nice to see that there are negotiations that are failing harder than the Major League Baseball Players Association and the owners, but they failed badly there on the Belarusian border between Russia and Belarus. They could resume negotiations as soon as tomorrow. That's the latest. I don't know if there's been there may have been in the last hour or so some sort of a decision that it was going to be tomorrow, but as of right now, as soon as tomorrow. Russian artillery have hit military bases in eastern Ukraine, killing more than 70 Ukrainian soldiers overnight. This is according to the AP. ExxonMobil Corporation has withdrawn all specialists from Russia oil and gas projects. Exxon Oil is now following Shell Oil, which did that yesterday. Shell pulled out all their business with Russia. President Zelensky has called for the recognition of Russia as a terrorist state. Zelensky made a speech today, and we'll hear some of it in our video section. Made a speech today to the European Parliament, European Union Parliament. Remember, yesterday he signed an application for the EU to be admitted into the he signed an application for the Ukraine to be admitted into the EU as soon as possible. The European Bank for Reconstruction and Development permanently stopped the access of all Russia and Belarus access to their finances. I don't know what the European Bank for Reconstruction is, but it's a headline, so it must be something important. Authorities in Chernihiv say that Russian troops fired Grad missiles at residential areas. Sergei Lavrov, basically, he's like the Secretary of State of Russia. Sergei Lavrov said earlier today, we're only hitting communications and we're only hitting military targets. And we've got video, we'll see, of them literally just blowing the snot out of apartment buildings in different cities. And on the heels of that, they've also announced, they've made announcements to the people of the Ukraine that if you live anywhere near, like within like a 4-mile radius of a military or communications place, a newspaper, a radio station towers, television towers, if you are in the Ukraine and you live anywhere near them, get out, because we're going to be bombing them and our guided missiles suck. That's what we're learning. We're learning that Russian guided missiles are not so great. They are, if they're trying to hit other things, they're hitting an awful lot of apartment buildings. And we'll see some video of that too coming up. Instagram has now joined the game. Instagram has blocked RT and other propagandist accounts for Russia in 27 European countries. That follows on the face of Meta, Facebook, doing that yesterday. European Parliament today. This was where President Zelensky gave his speech. He wasn't there. He's still in the Ukraine. He gave his speech via Zoom, I suppose. I don't know. Maybe they've got something a little bit more fancy than Zoom. European Parliament today, they have accepted the Ukraine's application for membership for a sped up application that speed up the process to allow Ukraine to almost immediately join the European Union. And a special admissions procedure for Ukraine has already begun in the European Parliament. And by the way, his speech, his Zoom call speech that they put up there on the big jumbotron in the European Parliament. By the way, I don't think I've ever seen the European Parliament before. Fancy digs they got there. His speech on the big jumbotron, where he appealed for a fast-tracked admission into the European Union, was greeted unanimously in the European Parliament by a standing ovation, a rousing standing ovation. So I can't imagine that by this time tomorrow, I think it'll probably be official that Ukraine has been accepted and is a member in good standing of the European Union, which will change a lot of things. Because he will now officially be one of them. Not a member of NATO. NATO has, to do with the military support, but it's a huge, huge first step. NATO is now more justified to go in and sort of push back or enforce what people want is the no-fly zone over Ukraine. That's what people are really calling for as the first step for NATO. Just send in NATO warplanes and enforce the no-fly zone. But there's a lot of trouble with that because that means the only planes that are in the air are Ukrainian planes, which are defending themselves, and Russian planes, which are the aggressors. So what happens when a NATO plane trying to enforce a no-fly zone engages with a Russian plane? Do you see the problems? All of a sudden we could have a NATO plane shot down, and now we've got dead NATO members, and now we're in a war. Now the war has started. So it's a very provocative notion, but one that is picking up support by the minute. Zelensky said in his speech to the European Parliament, "We call on all countries of the world to respond to the criminal tactics of the aggressor and declare that Russia is carrying out state terrorism. We demand full accountability for terrorism in international courts." Why is that important? Zelensky wants Russia to be designated a terrorist state, which brings with it a whole bunch of new things that they'll be able to do against Russia, because without even a vote, if they decide that Russia is a terrorist state, then you can just have like one person go, well, they're a terrorist state, so we are legally obligated to do this to them or do that to them. That's a big ask. And there's really no coming back from that one. That's a big one. Shelling of Kharkiv, civilian infrastructure violates martial law. This was stated by the EU High Representative Joseph Borrell in support of Russia as a terrorism state. In the Chernihiv region, they've announced a reward for captured enemy equipment and heads of occupants. That's kind of dark. So here's the reward structure if you're looking to pick up a little extra cash. And I'm always looking. First of the month, bills are due. I'm always looking to pick up a little extra cash. For an armored personnel character, you will receive, and I've been able to convert these into American dollars, 150,000 hryvnia. That's the currency there. An armored personnel carrier is worth $5,000. So if you last night we watched this TikTok girl who was giving instructions on how to operate stolen Russian machinery. So if you're able to steal a Russian armored personnel carrier and deliver it to the Ukrainian forces, you get $5,000. An infantry fighting vehicle, you get $6,000. A tank, you get $7,000. Wounded or killed, this falls under the head of the occupants. If you get a wounded or killed soldier and deliver them to the Ukrainian forces, you get $8,000, $8,000 for that one. So there's incentive to get out there and start creating some chaos. Russian banks under sanctions will not be able to issue new Visa or MasterCards. Think about that. We were talking about, many of these sanctions are designed to really inconvenience the billionaire oligarchs of Russia, to really make it difficult for them to continue to live the high life. But there's also a whole bunch of these residual effects of these sanctions that are going to affect the average person. We talked about Netflix. If you're a Netflix subscriber in Russia and your Netflix account is on a Russian bank card, which of course it would be, just as all of our Netflix accounts are on American bank cards. If your Russian Netflix account or Spotify account is on a Russian bank card, you don't have Netflix anymore because Netflix is no longer accepting payments from Russian banks. That's a part of the sanctions. But this one here, so let's say your debit card, let's say your debit card expires at the end of the month or expires this month or whatever, and it's got the Visa or the MasterCard symbol on it. It's one of those Visa or MasterCard debit cards. Nope, not going to happen anymore. Russia's got to come up with their own Visa or MasterCard platform right away because Visa and MasterCard are abiding by the sanctions. Nope, no Russian bank's going to offer cards now to the regular people with the Visa or MasterCard symbol on it. Okay, so those are the main headlines. That's everything that's happening that we need to get through here. You know what? I need to step away just for a brief second. Unfortunately, I didn't have the heat on last night, and it got very cold this morning, so I turned the heat on, and it's like super hot. It was cold earlier, and now I'm sweating. So let me go make an adjustment really quick to the heat. As I said, here in the Comfort Nest guest house, they seem to have installed a heating and cooling unit that was designed for a stadium, and it gets incredibly hot and incredibly cold in here. Let me fix that. Be right back. Alrighty. Sorry about that. I'm wearing a sweater because I always get a little chilly in here. And then I realized I got the heat blasted. It's not even blasting. It just blasts on its own. It doesn't know anything but blast. Currently 8:38 p.m. in Kiev, in the Ukraine. I don't know if they have different time zones. I think they might all be on the same time zone. I'm not anticipating any really big events today. And it's because if they are going to meet again tomorrow, I would think that, again, I'm looking at this through a rational sort of point of view. The rational point of view would say that if they are meeting tomorrow, that a show of good faith on the part of the invaders would be to not, go crazy tonight with any kind of bombings and all of that. But we'll see. I don't know. Rational. It's the big question, as the CNN headline said just a few minutes ago. United States State Department is trying to figure out where Putin's head is at and all this. Bill Folk says, don't know if it's newsworthy, but I'm opening up my home to all mail-order bride refugees from this conflict. Yes, there you go. Any you under 30, right, Bill? Under 30, and you got any like height and weight restrictions or anything like that? Just or all of them, because Fast Outdoor Food says he remembers the Yugo. April's concerned about my body. Yeah, well, too late. Where were you 30 years ago? 30 years ago, I should have been concerned about my body. Adam says, sup, bitches. Sorry I missed yesterday. I was having my laptop worked on at the office. Not a fan of driving into... Well, hold on. I just lost that. I just lost it. There's my guy. Not a fan of driving into work. Glad I don't have to anymore. A lot of people, what are you going to do with all this office space? There's got to be $1 billion idea to repurpose office spaces in downtowns. There's got to be. Because nobody's going to offices anymore. What are those going to be? We're just going to start taking down office towers because they've got like 90% vacancy rates. But homeless, I guess you could put the home in the former corporate headquarters of E.F. Hutton in downtown Minneapolis. You just let all the homeless live there. Better than under bridges, right? Think about it. You know, if people are concerned about, the eyesore, but, you know, put them in these big office towers. Let them, oh, that's a movie idea. That's a movie idea about a big skyscraper that has turned into like a lawless escape from New York style homeless encampment. I got too many things I'm working on. I can't work on that script. Feel free to take that one. Vertical farming, Byron, absolutely right. Absolutely right. Vertical farming is a very real thing. I think that is absolutely the way to go. If you can begin to provide a fresh vegetable, Ross knows, Ross has got it. If you can provide fresh fruits and vegetables and foods, maybe we'll even have a floor where we'll grow meat, growing meat in labs. If you can do that, I mean, we are all concerned about the environment and the toll that it takes on trucking and all that. Truckers going to be mad because we're going to lose trucking jobs. Truckers aren't going to be bringing fruits and vegetables from the rural areas into the urban centers. But if you can grow all of that stuff with hydroponic technology, vertical farming in all these old buildings, oh my God. First of all, do you know how cheap everything will be? You know how the prices will fall? Well, but you'll have all these out-of-work truckers. Well, I don't know. I saw last couple of months a whole bunch of truckers in Canada who didn't seem to worry about losing their jobs. They so I don't know. I don't know about it. And your buddy Elon Musk, he is working hard to put every trucker out of business anyway because he's developing those autonomous trucks that he wants on the roads that won't need truckers. They'll just drive. That's where we're heading. Don't get me wrong. I love truckers. I know a number of truckers. I had a couple of friends growing up whose dads were truckers. They were awesome. They were hardworking. They were on the road all the time. Good dudes, but man. Hey, my industry went away. My industry of radio went away. Nobody was crying for me. Nobody was crying for me when every major city in America used to have live local radio shows, 10 to a station every single day, and then the satellites went up, and suddenly one guy in New York is taking up like 100 jobs across. Nobody cried for us. It's the way of the world. The world changes. You gotta stay ahead of it. You gotta learn new skills. I'm too old to learn new skills. Hey, that wasn't even schizophrenic me. That was actually me saying that. I am too old to learn new skills. Will C says office towers are the modern day equivalent of newspapers in the early 2000s. Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. They absolutely are. No newspapers. Nobody cried for the newspaper people. Nobody cried for the delivery boys and the delivery trucks and the printing presses and all of that. That ain't a thing anymore. There's like if they used to produce 1 million newspapers to a big metropolitan area 30 years ago, they're producing 10,000 now because nobody reads the newspaper in paper form. Except maybe your grandpa. Maybe your grandpa still does. But how long is grandpa going to be around? Everybody reads the newspaper online. We're not cutting down trees. Yeah, the crazy lefty libs love that. Jobs are changing. Universal basic income. If technology is going to make it so that we don't need human labor anymore, yet we're still going to be making all of the money because production and output is going to stay the same, it's time for universal basic income. It's time for a nation of creatives. Just everybody's going to have a TikTok channel. Everybody's going to be a writer. Everybody's going to be an actor. If that's all that's left for us, I mean, that's where we're heading. I'm kind of joking, but that's all there is. You don't dig ditches anymore. They've got machines. You're going to have robots digging ditches. There ain't going to be nobody making, $15 an hour to dig a ditch. A robot will do it for free. And the company who owns that robot is still going to be making the same amount of money that they made when they were paying somebody, probably less, because now they don't have production costs. Now they don't have to pay a dude. They pay a robot one time, and that thing pays for itself in a year. So they're just going to make more money, and all of us are going to be out of a job. We're going to have nothing. Universal basic income. I know it sounds like a crazy lefty idea, but it's not. It's the only way that we're going to stop absolute pandemonium in the streets. People burning down stuff. People got to pay for Netflix, man. People got to pay for Netflix. All right, let's check in on some of the... let's watch some of the videos that I've compiled here over the last couple of hours. These are the latest videos from the war. Some stuff to look at here. This is a good one. These are some residents in the town of Kupiansk, which is a small town in Ukraine. The residents have turned against their Russian occupiers, and they're attacking with nothing but their hands. Watch this. All right, so here's a bunch of residents. No guns, just their bare hands. That's a Russian military vehicle. This is what Russia is going to deal with. This is why playing an away game with a hostile crowd. Oh, jeez. You see that guy went. The guy who was standing on the hood, he went. Trying to break the window. Oh, there he goes. I think he's all right. He didn't get it. Here's the problem with this. We saw some Russian soldiers yesterday being screamed at by a bunch of Ukrainian civilians. And we saw one Russian soldier start to lose his cool a little. And then the two other Russian soldiers were like, niet, calm down. That whole thing. And they sort of calmed him down. So in this situation here, a bunch of unarmed people, they surround this car. What if at some point the people in the car, the soldiers in the car, start to feel threatened and they just open fire on a bunch of unarmed civilians? If we're being objective, we have to say that, yeah, they had a right to feel threatened. They were surrounded. However, they're also occupiers, so they sort of made this bed. But what happens when a Russian soldier just mows down like 20 civilians because their car is surrounded? I mean, now we're getting into some crazy stuff. Watch this one more time. Hang on, dude. Oh, out of there. Okay. All right, so there's that one. Let's see. What is this? What else do we have here? Oh, this is pretty incredible, folks.
My team is now in Belarus.
This is what is her name? I'm trying to think of her name. I follow her on Twitter. She's really good. She's been covering this. Man, I don't have her name. It's something like Natalia something. No, I don't have that. All right. Anyway, Boris Johnson today, after the EU Parliament meeting in Warsaw. Oh, actually, you know what? I don't think this was the EU meeting. I think this was a meeting of allies in Warsaw. I think the EU meeting took place somewhere else. This is a Ukrainian journalist questioning Boris Johnson and the allies' response so far. It's pretty powerful stuff.
A woman from my team is now in Bila Cerkva, and she is there with 2 kids. And Russian military is over there, and she's so much afraid that she will be shot. Kharkiv, the city where I was studying, was bombarded today, fully, the downtown square. So you're talking about the stoicism of Ukrainian people, but Ukrainian women and Ukrainian children are in deep fear because of bombs and missiles which are going from the sky. And Ukrainian people are desperately asking for the West to protect our sky. We are asking for the no-fly zone. We are saying response that it will trigger World War III. But what is the alternative, Mr. Prime Minister? To observe how our children are, instead of planes, are protecting NATO from the missiles and bombs? What's the alternative for the no-fly zone? We have planes here, we have air defense system in Poland, in Romania. NATO has this air defense. At least this air defense could shield the Western Ukraine so that these children with women could come to the border. It's impossible now to cross the border. There are 30 kilometers of lines. Imagine crossing the border with a baby or with 2 children. I'm so glad that Samantha Power is coming here to the border from the Polish side. Let her come to the border from Ukrainian side and see that. Britain guaranteed our security under Budapest Memorandum. So you're coming to Poland. You're not coming to Kiev, Prime Minister. You're not coming to Lviv because you're afraid. Because NATO is not willing to defend. Because NATO is afraid of the World War III. But it is already started. And these are Ukrainian children who are there taking the hit. You're talking about more sanctions, Prime Minister. But Roman Abramovich is not sanctioned. He's in London. His children are not in the bombardments. His children are there in London. Putin's children are in Netherlands, in Germany, in mansions. Where are all these mansions seized? I don't see that. I see that my family members, that my team members are saying that we are crying. We don't have where to run. Well, this is what is happening, Prime Minister.
Well, thank you.
And we don't get to hear his response, but man, she's a good follow. What's her name? Gotta find her. Hold on. Sorry, I had to tune that up a little bit, so everything got a little bit loud in my headphones. Yeah. So there. Whoa, not that one. Whoa. There we go. That's the one I need. Okay. Ay. Let's see what. Oh, this is a good one. I like this one. All right. So this is this guy here, Spritter. He is a Russian troll. He is one of Putin's little trolls on Twitter. And he says, does anyone recognize a naked clown with a guitar and a microphone? And that is President Volodymyr Zelensky from back in the time when he was a silly, crazy, wacky TV star in the Ukraine. Whatever he was back then, he has completely reinvented himself in the past week. This is not the same guy. So the Russian troll, does anyone recognize a naked clown with a guitar and a microphone? I'm trying to get support. Oh man, did he get ratioed? Here's where's one that I like? Okay, there's a good one. Yeah, he's the guy burying the Russian army. Friend of this guy. So come on. What is this one? Anyway, okay, I just thought that was funny. I don't know why we need to show that. But yeah, so the Russian trolls are out. Don't fall for the Russian trolls. This is the bombing of an apartment building. This is in Kharkiv. Let's watch a little bit of this. This is from just a neighbor from a building over watching there. I'm wondering if they're going to be next. Remember, they're only hitting military targets. Military targets with balconies with lawn chairs on them. Kharkiv, man, still standing. 5 nights. Kharkiv has just been getting their ass handed to them, and they are standing up to everything. And I know I'm pronouncing it correctly. I guess it's Kharkiv. Could you imagine? I mean, again, what we take for granted here. This is not someone living in a hole in the ground. This isn't someone who lives in a cave in the side of a mountain and herds goats. And not that those people deserve any kind of brutality either. It's just that we as Western people can relate to this more. And that's our own fault. We should be able to relate to all humanity equally, but we don't. We don't. We just don't. That's not. Okay, so here are some Russian soldiers who have surrendered. Apparently, they ran out of gas and they were hungry, and they surrendered to Ukrainian forces. This is an entire column of Russian occupiers surrendering. Seeing a lot of this. Seeing a lot of abandoned Russian military vehicles. All right, here's more buildings and Kharkiv being shelled. Remember, they're only hitting military and governmental targets. These look like apartment buildings to me. These are civilian homes that the Russian army is just shelling. Now, again, what are you going to admit, Russia? Are you going to admit that you are actively attacking civilian targets? Or that your military equipment sucks? That your guidance systems are bullshit? Pick one. Pick one, Russia, because those are your only two choices. The so-called military superiority of the great Russian armada. The Grand Army of the Russki. This is exciting. This is in Odessa. Okay, so this is off the coast. These are helicopters that took off from Russian Navy ships off the coast in the Black Sea. And this is some Odessa Defense Forces, and they take down a couple of helicopters here. Sure, people are dying, but it's war, and it's the good guys winning.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12,
Look at all them helicopters.
14, 15, 16, 17.
Oh, they got that one. He's down. One down. One down. Ooh, two down. 3 down. Oh, that guy looks like he's still flying. He's in trouble though. He's got his
Раз,
engine.
два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17.
Oh, here's. Let's see who gets hit first. There, boom! He's down.
Yes!
Yes!
Блядь!
Boom!
Да!
There's one down. There's another one down back there. And this is the guy who seems like he gets hit, but he limps away. Or are they firing back? They might be firing back. I don't know.
Раз, два, три, четыре, пять, шесть, семь,
Right.
8,
Good job,
9,
boys.
10, 11,
Defend the homeland
12,
from the
13, 14,
invaders.
15, 16, 17.
Okay, so this is outside Kiev. This is the main broadcast tower for Kiev television, being shelled earlier this morning. They're doing something that, military strategy 101 always said you take the communications facilities first. It's 5 days in, and they're just now getting around to trying to take out the broadcast capabilities of local Kiev television and radio. And it doesn't look like it came down. I've seen smoke coming from the tower. It might be rendered inoperable, but I haven't seen video of the tower coming down. So that's just outside Kiev. Dude, I like the dude. He's just having a smoke. Watching his city get bombed. Now, I don't know if maybe the wife has rules about smoking in the house or if he just happens to be smoking while looking out the window, but there you go. This is a good one. Okay, this has been translated into English, so you can read this. Let's see if you can read this. Okay, this is another Russian soldier. And by the way, this was pointed out by somebody, one of the journalists who responded. It should be noticed. Do you see this guy? Do you see his looks? He is an ethnic minority in Russia. The Russians, the Russian army, the first people that they sent in, they draft the ethnic minorities first. The ethnic minority, the people from far eastern Siberia, the areas that are closest to China, that Russia controls. These are the people that they send into the wood chipper first. So you're going to see a lot of like Russian prisoners of war who look like they're of Asian descent. They don't look like the traditional European-looking Putin-style Russian. And I just thought that was interesting, that it's a lot of the ethnic minorities, just like I guess that's the way of the world, right? If you're not a white person, you don't go in first. So this has been translated. You'll see him. He's another prisoner of war. He's calling his wife to tell him what he's done. This is something that is happening with prisoners of war. They're being forced to call home. In some cases, their moms. In this case, it's his wife. They're being forced to call home by their Ukrainian captors and tell the people they love what they have done.
Всегда первый. Слава Украине. Путин хуйло. Алло, привет. Алло. Слышишь, что ли? Я попал в плен сейчас. Слушай только. Мы приехали сюда. Получается, мы сюда приехали, они нас обманули, что мы защищать приехали, а мы наоборот приехали сюда убивать мирных людей. Женщин, детей.
Вань, ты что такое говоришь? Ваня! Вань, ты что говоришь?
Позвони жене Юрия Белокопытова и Юрия Амельяненко. Скажи, что пускай они позвонят на эту горячую линию и узнают, как забрать тела.
Какие тела?
Но их тела.
Какие тела?
Но их тела.
Вас отпустят домой?
Я не знаю, но я надеюсь.
Как?
Ну так хочется вас обнять.
Ваня, ты обязательно обнимешь, а?
Я вас так сильно люблю.
Мы тебя тоже любим, нахуй ту армию в пизду, ты едешь и увольняешься, я не ебала переживать. Я тебя так люблю, Ваня. Прости меня, но все будет хорошо, я уверена, пожалуйста. Все будет хорошо, Ваня.
All right, now this is where it gets interesting. No, I'm sorry for coming here, killing people, civilians. No, you were protecting our homeland. Calm down, she says. Because remember, the Russian people have been told that they were attacked first. The Russian people have been fed a diet of propaganda that says that Ukraine started this. There is no homeland, he says. They are lying to all of us. We are the homeland. You were protecting us. The people in Russia don't know what's happening. This is what an authoritarian government does. This is what happens when the government controls the media. You can complain all you want about the mainstream media and all that stuff, but is this the alternative? We're just whatever? You were protecting us in the first place. And then he says, from whom was I protecting? No one was attacking us. We are to blame. Our government is to blame. How? Wow. I mean, right? And he's talking to his wife back home, and his wife back home has been told, your husband is a hero. He's defending the homeland from those barbaric, No, I mean, no sympathy for Will says no sympathy for this guy. No sympathy for him or his actions, but certainly he's a human being, and there is some empathy that I have for a human being who is in this position. He's an invader. I get that, but it's far more complicated, at least for me. Emotionally, it's far more complicated. Will also says Asian descent Pugs, that straight up Jackie Chan. Yeah, he does. And then he questions a Chinese Russian. Yeah, man. There's like a whole area of Russia that they stole from China back in the day. That is people. You go look at a globe, man. Russia bumps right up to China, like the far eastern part. Russia's big. Russia's crazy big. Europe and China. All right, what are we looking at here? This is from Kharkiv. These are crowds of civilians being dispersed with stun grenades from the Russian military, which sure it looks terrible if they're protesting, I don't know, masks. But I guess in the context of this being war, it could be worse. They're using stun grenades on them, which, again, if you're angry and you're protesting about being forced to wear a mask, maybe stun grenades are appropriate, maybe even a bit over the top. This isn't invading army. We're dealing with a hostile. This is not making excuses. I think the Russians are monsters for telling us. Could be worse. They could be opening fire. That's just the observation. I'm certainly not a Russian apologist. I want them to get their ass kicked. All right, here's an apartment. This is this is from those apartment buildings in Kharkiv that we saw getting shelled and hit with fire. This is what they look like. Someone, I mean, I'm sure there are some are worse, but this is one that is still inhabitable. Yeah, those bombs, they hit the side of your building. They're gonna do some damage. Looks like some kids' toys back there. Yikes. Well, the bar's still intact. Crazy wallpaper. Look at all the dust from the drywall coming down. It's just covering everything. That is some crazy wallpaper. That is some ugly wallpaper. It give me a headache. That's weird, the observations we have. All right, here we go. Here is the standing ovation that President Zelensky received speaking to the European Union Parliament. It's like the futuristic kids they got there at the European Parliament. This is extended. This is a standing ovation you usually see at concerts for the encore. Right there, we see that. That's good. He was received well. So, this is at the UN. This happened earlier today. When the Russian ambassador to the UN began to speak, all the ambassadors from European nations got up and left en masse. They're not going to listen to him. Like, yeah, this dude's full of shit. We're walking out. There they go. That right there, that'll show you what the world is, what the position of the world is as far as Russia goes. Whatever. Yeah. Okay, Sergei Lavrov. No, I guess that's not Lavrov. That's the other guy. Or is it Lavrov? Was it Lavrov who was addressing the UN? Yeah, it was. It was Sergei Lavrov. He was the foreign minister of Russia. Here's the Russian army. This is some video of the Russian army. They are hungry. They are taking a food supply place. They're trying to take as much food as they can from one of the towns that they've taken occupation of. This guy's going to drop all the tangerines. There they go. Yeah. All right. The Russian army is hungry. The supply rails, the way that they had expected to get their supplies restocked have fallen down. Here's, remember, Russians are only hitting military and government buildings. This is a hospital in Kharkiv that they destroyed overnight. This was a functioning hospital. There were people in this hospital. There is no body count. Although I did read something that most of the people they had been moved to like a basement shelter, so there is some optimism that the death toll will not be as bad as some expect. There it is. Remember, here's your options, Russia. You're either lying about only targeting military and government buildings, or your weapons guidance systems suck. It's your choice. Which one is it, Russia? This is interesting. Okay, so listen to this guy. This guy has an interesting take. But let's listen to it and discuss. Hello to everyone, my little kittens. Weird way to start. Look, I have two important things to tell you. Firstly, I'd like to address all the countries whose territories have been taken by Russia and recommend to grab the opportunity because the right moment has come. We are covering you. Come on, Moldova. Take Prindustrovy back. Come on, Georgia. Take. Come on, everyone who has ever had any territorial claims. It wouldn't be bad to get China, which has a couple of plans for Siberia. See, that's what we were just talking about. Come on, everyone, play along. It will be fun. Germany? Estonia, Finland. Who else does Russia owe to? Now is the moment to get all the bills paid. And the second thing, I want to address my compatriots and representatives of friendly nations who live abroad. Please. It's so weird to talk about that, but please. When you beat up people who drive cars with Russian flags, please make sure that in the left upper corner of the flag there is no sign of an emblem. Because the national flags of Slovenia and Slovakia look very similar to Russian flags. But with the emblem in the corner. Slovenia and Slovakia are friendly nations. Please don't do them any harm. With the Russian flags, you can do whatever you please. It's up to you. Okay. It's time to go after Russians all over the world. And all the world supports these actions till seize the day. All right, so I wanted to play that because it gets a little squirrely there. Gets a little squirrely at the end. Let me just say this. The old Russian lady who makes your bagels, who you see at the bagel store, don't attack her. Don't, she got nothing to do with this. If you are a Russian, now, if I was a Russian person living in America and I had some sort of emblem of my nation of origin, if I was driving around in a car with a Russian flag sticker on the back, I'd take that off just because, you don't want to be. Now is not the time to show national pride. It's a very, very embarrassing time for any Russian Americans, any culturally rooted Americans who are, still pro-Russian some way. Going back. Never mind, Will. That's funny though. I appreciate it, Will. Very funny. All right, let's look at more of this stuff. It just don't. How about we just don't attack Russians that are living here? They're not the ones. Just here's another video from Kharkiv, the city that's been getting absolutely pounded. This is somebody driving around looking at the destruction.
Це вам не петарди, не гранати, не стрілкотня, це бомби, які скидають з самольотів.
Там люди кричать.
Де зараз подивіться, будинків немає.
You can see.
Це вам не петарди,
those look like apartment buildings.
Не стрілкотня, це бомби, які скидають з
Looks like there's some balconies. So again, military targets. I also want to say that I just saw somebody send me a DM. There are videos. Don't send me these videos. I've seen all the videos. There are videos that I am not showing that, man, just they're too rough. And I'm not talking about videos of dead Russian soldiers. That's fine. There is a video going around that shows some Ukrainian citizens in a car that are driving with their kid and a dog, and the car takes fire and the dog is hit in just 30 seconds of the dog going, burr, burr. I mean, we're not going to show that. There's another video that's going around that shows a couple of dead kids. There's a video going around with a woman running with a dead baby. So don't send them to me. I'm not going to show them. I think that we can all imagine what the true horrors are. The stuff that I'm showing you is not graphic. As graphic as I'm willing to get, right? All right, here's more bombing of the city of Kharkiv.
Друзья, срочно на вышке, только что по телеге Киев.
Can I just point something out? We just saw something there. Can I just show you something again? And this is not a political statement, but it is an observation that I've been making. Watch this. Okay. Dude has a mask. These are people who are literally fighting for their liberty and for their freedom and for their very lives. And they're cool with the masks because they understand that that's not real tyranny. This is real tyranny. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say on that. But we're seeing these people all over actually fighting against authoritarian tyranny, and they've got their masks.
Значит, дорогоши, все
And yet we've got
обстреляны, друзья.
Karens going into
Дорогоши, все
Target
обстреляны.
screaming about Nazism.
Все легли! Легли!
We take shit for
Легли!
granted.
В зданию
We're
и
a bunch
легли!
of
Дальше
alarmist
от стекол! Ближе к земле, дальше от стекол! Может еще один удар быть нанесен!
All right, there we go. That's that. And one more note on that. I am not saying that if you resist the wearing of masks and all that, there's nothing wrong with that. You can have a problem with it. You cannot want to do it. I have in recent weeks had to seriously think about what the overall purpose of all of this was. However, don't start claiming that you being asked by medical organizations and health organizations to wear a mask in an effort to do your individual part that we're all being asked to do. Stop saying that's totalitarianism. Stop drawing these equivalencies between real authoritarian dictators, because it's not, we're seeing it. Come on, that guy had a mask in his car. That guy walks into the corner store and puts on his mask because he knows what real tyranny is, and it ain't being asked to wear a mask. God, we're so overdramatic. And that's Fox News did it to you. All right, this here. Whoa. This is a government building in Kharkiv that took a direct hit last night. Watch this. There it is. Beautiful old-timey building. That building's probably 100 years old. Look at this. Boom. Good night, Francis. Wow. This video's going around. It's I don't know if it was a direct hit. It didn't level the entire building, but I'm sure as hell. Oh, what's going on with these other cars? We see these cars. Oh, look, this guy right here. This guy right here. Oh, did that guy make it out? Oh, I don't know if that guy made it out. Okay, red car. Let's watch red car. What's happening with red car? Oh my God! Oh, red car made it right through. Holy shit! I bet red car's got busted windows and shit. Red car stopped, so maybe the person is hurt. Oh my God! Those cars. Just driving down the street. Oh. Okay, white car, white car, white car, white car. He goes straight through. Red car. Red car kind of just comes to a halt in the middle of the intersection, which suggests to me that there's something wrong. Because if there was nothing wrong with dude in the red car, wouldn't you just floor it and get the hell out of there? Oh my God. That is staring down some tyranny right there. Okay, so I guess this is the after effects of that building. It says that here are the after effects of the Kharkiv government authority building, which is what we just saw get hit. So let's see what it looks like.
Кто тут русский мир ждал с флагом России на площади? Вы этого хотели, да? Мы вас предупреждали. Это плохая затея. Много раненых. Бессотых пока не видно.
Goodness. All
Кто
right.
тут русский мир?
All right. And one more time for you. Boom. There it goes. Jeez Louise. All right. I think that's it. That is it for the videos that I have to share for you right now at this moment. My body, my right, Will. That is absolutely right. Just be consistent with that. My body, my right, your germs, my illness. All right, are we back with the videos? Yeah, let's see if we can see anything happening here on the videos. And then we're going to check the flight patterns because there was some really interesting stuff happening earlier today as far as military planes in the area. And then I'll go through one more pass to see what has happened as far as headlines since we first got in here. And then unless, we see something significant that requires our coverage, we'll just jump right into the normal show. We'll get to the topics. We'll talk about a whole bunch of things. We've got a whole bunch of things trending. We got everything from abortion to Mitch Trubisky trending right now. So we'll cover all of that. Oh, it looks like we got a new camera. All right. Not really seeing anything. Say it is 9:21 in the evening in the Ukraine. Okay. All right, let's get out of this. Let's excuse me. I'd like to look at here. There we go. Let's check out our friends with Flight Tracker. Flight Radar 24. I'm sorry. I know some people like, that's not what it's called. Well, but there are a couple of sites, and call them Flight Tracker sites. And it just so happens that Flight Radar 24 is the one that we've decided is the best. The whole world has decided that Flight Radar 24 is the best. It's like, do you use tissue or do you call it Kleenex? Tissue is Flight Tracker and Kleenex is Flight Radar 24. See, brand name versus. All right, here we go. Let's look at the, let's see what's happening here. There's Belarus, there's Ukraine. Let's pull out a little to see the overall traffic. Ooh, a lot of traffic over. Oh, there you go. Look at that big giant. Look at that big giant circle. When you pull out, it's really kind of, look at that. When you look at the global, look at that. That is crazy, huh? Big giant hole right there over Ukraine. All right. Let's see what planes are being watched. Oh, this looks like something. Oh, that's just a private jet. I thought that might be a fighter. All right, let's see what the most watched planes are. All right, we got our old friend, the Stratotanker. He's up there. He's doing his thing. He's been doing that the last couple of days. This is a gas station in the sky, fueling up whatever planes are secretly flying up. And what's this guy? That's an air ambulance. That seems to be flying towards Ukraine. Oh, some dangerous flight there, pal. Be careful, air ambulance. All right, what is this guy? Here we go. Oh, that's him. Okay, so that's the air ambulance. That's number 2. He's being tracked. Duke 43. All right, Duke 43. We got a United States U.S. Army helicopter flying around the border of Poland and Ukraine. Duke's been up there the last couple of days. Who's this guy? What do we got here? Another United States Air Force. I think this is an extender. Or is this? Yeah, this is the extender. Okay, so this is the other gas station in the sky. Again, Stratotanker is the brand name for the gas station built by Boeing that flies around. And Extender is the brand name for the gas station built by McDonnell Douglas that flies around. So we've got 2 gas stations. That's pretty much been standard operating procedure the last few days. Who's this guy? And this guy is just a regular old plane that people are interested in. Okay. Yeah, they're an hour ago, geez, at this point now, like 2 hours ago, and I thought they'd still be here. We had a couple of really interesting planes that were in the air. We had a Strategic Air Command plane that was flying under the NATO banner. That was up, running up and down the border. And then there was also another, there were 2 British British Royal Air Force fighter jets that were in the sky as well. They seem to have both landed, or, they've gone dark. Because, again, the only planes that we can see are the ones that are being public about their business. The planes that we can see are the ones that have the transponders on that are letting the world know, hey, we're up here. If we go down, you'll know where we last were when we disappeared. Okay, so there you go. That's the flight radar. We're done with that. Let's see here. Let me just check very quickly to see if there's anything new headline-wise that have happened in the last half hour since I signed on. Want to give you the latest. And then we'll go into the regular function of the High Noon Show. I hope this isn't boring to you guys. I hope that, my sort of focus on the unfolding results of the war isn't something that you're not appreciating. Okay, well, this is interesting. This is a whole nother level of news. This has nothing to do with, well, maybe it does. We don't know if it has to do with the Ukraine. Active shooter alert at Hanford Nuclear Reservation in the state of Washington. That was just posted within the last couple of minutes. So let's see what this is about. Police and other emergency services are responding to reports of an active shooting at the Hanford Nuclear Reservation site in Washington state. The incident began at 10:30 a.m. local time, so that would be 12:30. It's just about an hour ago. The incident began at 10:30 a.m., 12:30 our time, on Tuesday when workers at the site received an alert warning them of an active assailant. It was not immediately clear whether officers have confirmed a shooting took place, and if so, what is the status of the suspect? Here's the quote, the mass text that went out. Active assailant at 275 East 200 East area. Affected employees prepare to run, hide, fight. Employees in nearby buildings are to lock down and prepare to run, hide, fight. All others stay away, the message said. There was no immediate word on possible injuries, and we're working to gather information. This is an unfolding story. A large number of emergency services have been called to the scene while officers work to secure it. Okay, well, we don't know anything more about this. This was just posted within the last 5 minutes. It doesn't. I mean, I never know how to take this because, a large number of emergency services have been called to the scene. So that suggests that there is something happening when you call a bunch of ambulances, a bunch of fire trucks, and a bunch of police for backup. However, I have been pulled over for going 10 miles over and 4 cops show up. So, fingers crossed on that. Like I said, that has nothing necessarily to do with the Ukrainian situation, but it is being reported by one of the news sources that I'm following. Okay, here we go. This is big news. The International Court of Justice in The Hague, that's the War Crimes Court. The War Crimes Court is going to hold hearings on Russia's invasion of Ukraine starting next Monday. So now the conversation about are these war crimes and what kind of global punishment could Putin face? I mean, there's no way in hell Putin's ever going to show up for his trial at The Hague. But, let him convict him in absentia. He'll become an international criminal. And at that point, the sanctions never go away until the people give him up. 47 minutes ago, breaking a massive explosion near Kharkiv, Ukraine, possibly involving an ammunition depot. Well, I suppose maybe I should show that because there is video here of it. That certainly does. These are the people of Kharkiv that we keep talking about. These are the people that are just battling every single night, tooth and nail. The heroes, they are going to write songs about the heroes of Kharkiv. I'm telling you, folks. And we'll bring this up. Okay, here we go. So this just happened. When was this? This just happened within the last hour. This is in Kharkiv. This is, again, Boy, oh boy. This is where we just saw the government building blow up. Remember, we were tracking red car, white car. This is also where we saw the apartment buildings being shelled. Okay, so keep your eye, I guess, on that little thunderbolt. Whoa. That is a very big explosion. Look at that. Look how far away they are, and they felt the shockwave. Whoa. Oh my God. I'm always fascinated by how light travels so much faster. You can see something before you hear something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 seconds after detonation to feel it in the shockwave. Unbelievable. Okay. You know where I first realized that? You know where I first, math? Pugs? Is that math class in elementary school? Is that where you first, well, yes, that's where I first learned it. But the first time I ever experienced, that sight, light travels faster. You see something before you hear it. Have you ever sat in the center field bleachers at a baseball game and you see the pitcher throw the ball to the catcher and he throws the ball and it's in the catcher's mitt, and then like a second later you hear the like the ball's already there. Why am I just hearing the slap of the ball in the mitt? Well, something I realized while sitting in the center field bleachers at a White Sox game at 10 years old. Okay, so where are we? You know what? I got to close out some of these. Give me a second here. I got to do a little maintenance. I got a whole bunch of stuff that's open that doesn't need to be open. Okay. Oh, geez, there's the dog. The dog's going to get involved in the show today. Of course he is. Okay. All right. So again, let's see. Any other new headlines that are happening? So we've got that bombing in Kharkiv was just within the last, looks like last hour at least. Okay. Doesn't seem like there is anything breaking that needs to be mentioned. The UN, this is the last 20 minutes, the UN has applied for $1.7 billion in humanitarian aid for victims of Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Also within the last 20 minutes, BMW stops the production of all of its cars in Kaliningrad and stops supplying cars to the Russian market. BMW's on board. Sberbank, that's one of the big Russian banks that's taking all of these international sanctions. Sberbank blocks the cards of Russian citizens who have made donations to Ukrainian funds. So if you are a Russian citizen and you think what's happening is terrible and you have donated $10 to some Ukrainian relief fund, your bank is now saying you can't do that. But you just keep bitching about being forced to wear a mask in Target. That's authoritarianism. That's a dictatorship. But can't they both be? Sure. But one is to a much more serious degree and the other one is just silly. I'm seeing more stuff here about the Ghost of Kiev. The Ghost of Kiev, the fighter pilot. Oh, we should mention this. The Ghost of Kiev, he received his ace status in the world of fighter jet guys. If you become an ace, you become classified as a fighter ace after 6 confirmed shoot downs of enemy aircraft. The Ghost of Kiev, this supposed Ukrainian fighter pilot, reached that 6 after 2 nights of fighting. He's now up to 17. He has now gotten 70. The Ghost of Kiev. And I love the story of the Ghost of Kiev. I love the story of the Ukrainian Reaper. I love these stories that are being put out by the, the Ukrainian, dare I say, Ministry of Propaganda. They're putting these stories out. We don't know if they're real. I have a very difficult time imagining that there is this one lone Ukrainian fighter who is out there inspiring the nation. I want it to be, and I'm not going to question it too hard, because now is the time to be inspired by lies. The Ghost of Kiev is alive. The legendary ace was shot down, but he already got a new plane. What? I didn't know about that. Who shot down the Ghost of Kiev? And he survived? Let's delve into this story. Let's see how real this looks. Oh, now some dude's in the thread. Stop spreading this BS. No, you know what? Let him. Just let him. How about you stop feeling like you need to be morally superior by pretending that truth at all counts is the best route? This is not the best route. We're trying to inspire people. You want morale to be high. Give them stories. Give them things to sing about. Do you know how much stuff in American history is absolute bullshit? Stop it. Nobody's saying, stop talking about Paul Revere. That never happened. It's true, though. That never happened. Well, it did, but he wasn't actually the guy. Paul Revere was like a much lesser dude in that whole thing, that Midnight Ride bullshit. But it was a good story, and we adopted it as our own, and now it's a part of our DNA. Social media is celebrating a Ukrainian pilot for shooting down 6. This is an older story. 6 Russian enemy planes, but does the Ghost of Kiev exist? I'm not going to click. Right. Thank you. Thank you. The first one. Olga, the first response to that. Does it matter? No. Let it be a thing. Just let it be a thing. These people need a thing. Give them their thing. All right. So that's pretty much going to do it as far as any breaking news that we have now. There is, it is 9:36 in the evening there. We'll put up the camera. Should we just put up the cameras while we'll put up the cameras while I go through all of the stuff that, we'll cover, all of the other news, if you will. Typically here on the High Noon Show, we like to run through all of the, big stories of the day. And that's what we're going to do here. We're going to do here now. Put these up. Terry Hesticle says Ukraine needs to fight for themselves too, not run to U.S. and EU to do it. Why hasn't Ukraine declared war on Russia yet? Oh, come on. Not going there, Terry Hesticles. That's a Tucker Carlson fan right there. Let's see, anybody else making any? Clovis says, no, it's 5, not 6. You may be right. This whole story might be bullshit. I'm just going off of what I'm reading. I'm just going off of the propaganda that I choose to believe. All right, let's get into the High Noon list of stories that are happening today around America. We'll focus here on our own backyard. It is March 1st, the 60th day of the year. 305 days remain until the end of the year. So as we like to say around here, get those New Year's Eve plans started. What is today the day of? I wanted to go through this list because we missed it yesterday. Yesterday was there was some things I wanted to talk about in the day of. What is being celebrated today? What is March 1st? There's a lot of them here. It's Fastnacht Day. I don't know what that sounds. That sounds Nazi. I don't know what the hell Fastnacht Day is. Let's see what this is. Fastnacht Day. With deep roots in Germany, Fastnacht Day is a pre-Lenten celebration that takes place the day before Ash Wednesday. Fastnacht means fast and night in German. In Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, Fastnacht represents an entire season of festivities. I don't care. I've lost interest. We call that Fat Tuesday around these parts. And that's also what today is. Today is Fat Tuesday. Happy Fat Tuesday to all you people who are just walking around culturally appropriating. We fat people, we walk around every day as fat people, but go ahead. You can have this day. It's Punchki Day. Punchki Day. Punchki Day is not a thing here, is it? I don't think Punchki Day is the thing here. And by the way, Punchki, for all you, Punchki is spelt P-A-C-Z-K-I. 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 Pronounced Punchki. Punchki. It's a Polish donut day. That's you're supposed to go out and you're supposed to eat these. They're jelly donuts. That's what they are. They got a fancy name, and they're a Polish. Polish people eat them. If you have a big Eastern European cultural center around your town, today is the day when you go out and you get some punchkis. You can have a jelly donut any day of the year, but on this day you call them punchki. Happy Punchki Day traditionally is the day before Lent, because Polish Catholics have to give something up, and theoretically a lot of them give up, eating bad foods, and so you just fill your gullet with punchkis today. Is punchki? I don't think I've ever seen a punchki here. I've seen jelly donuts here. I know that but it is March 1st is Punchki Day. Today is also National Pancake Day. National Pancake Day. Have yourself a pancake. A pancake is fine every now and again. It's like eating lead for breakfast. I don't enjoy eating massive stacks of pancakes, but like one pancake with a little syrup, that's fine. That's good. But I'm a French toast guy. How dare you? Yeah, I am. I'm a French toast guy. I prefer French toast. Go ahead. I just said it. French toast is far superior to pancakes. It's basically the same thing, just one is far superior. Adam says Czech Stop may have them today or something similar. Yeah, probably. It's punchkis are Polish, but close enough, right? Czech, Poland, same thing. Same thing. National Dadgum That's Good Day is March 1st. What the hell is that? This one we got to click on. We got to find out what National Dadgum That's Good Day. National Dadgum That's Good Day on March 1st is National Dadgum That's Good Day ushers in a season of satisfying seasonings, cooking, and overall good time spent with family. Dadgum That's Good is much more than just a Southern phrase and the title of John McLemore's best-selling cookbook series. Okay, all right, turns out this is just some product placement for some dude's cookbook. It's National Fruit Compote Day. What is fruit compote? What is it? What's the difference between compote and compost? Because fruit compost does not sound delicious. Fruit compote, I'll be open to it. Each year on March 1st, National Fruit Compote Day presents a celebration filled with sweet berries, citrus, and stone fruits to delight the senses. The word compote is French for mixture. All right. I like a good fruit salad. I like a good fruit salad every now and again, just as long as it's fresh. When it starts to get a little gamey, no. It's National Minnesota Day. Oh, hey, yeah. Now, yeah, look at, yeah, National Minnesota Day. Minnesota, nice. Everybody in Minnesota is so nice. It's National Peanut Butter Lovers Day. You know what? I've had this debate with people before. Peanut butter sucks. Peanut butter sucks. I'm sorry. I said it. I know it's National Peanut Butter Day. Peanut butter sucks. Finish the sentence before people freak out. Peanut butter sucks. Alone, peanut butter is awful. Peanut butter, however, becomes a top-ranked flavor combination when you mix it with chocolate. Chocolate and peanut butter doesn't get better than that. Peanut butter with jelly. Peanut butter is suddenly good. Peanut butter alone sucks. You want a peanut butter sandwich? Kill me before you give me a peanut butter. Do we have ice cold milk? No, we've got lukewarm water. Lukewarm water and a peanut butter sandwich. Don't tempt me with a good time. Peanut butter sucks on its own, but it's National Peanut Butter's Day. So there you go. If you disagree with me, go have yours. If you disagree with me, just take a spoon. My son did that. It was the grossest thing. I saw him. He was watching TV, and he's sitting on sitting on the floor with an open thing of peanut butter in a spoon, and he's just eating the peanut butter out of the spoon. I'm like, that is obnoxious, kid. That is just, oh. At the very least, have an open jar of jelly so that you can do the breadless peanut butter and jelly. I've done that. Scoop of peanut butter, scoop of jelly, spoon. Got to watch them carbs. National Pig Day is today. I don't know. I don't know what that is. What National Pig Day. I like pigs. I want a pig. That's one of my life goals. One of my life goals is to have a pet pig, one of those Vietnamese potbelly pigs. They're so cute. Have you seen the videos on YouTube? Pigs are better than dogs. Pigs are awesome. Pigs don't bark. Pigs don't, pigs are loving. Pigs, the Vietnamese little potbelly pigs. They're cuddle pigs. They're so cute. National Pig Day is observed annually on March 1st. It recognizes the domesticated pig. Yeah, that's what I want. Or wait, would also like an agricultural farm pig be a domesticated? Yeah, because they're not wild pigs. Anyway, yeah, screw you, wild boars. This ain't your day. This is for your compliant cousins. This holiday includes events and celebrations at zoos, schools, nursing homes, and sporting events. Pig parties, pig parades, and pig gatherings with pig collectibles. Pigs are clever and intelligent animals. However, most people are not aware of their high level of intelligence. Some are household pets. Yeah, I want a pig pet. They can be trained and taught tricks. In Dublin in 1772, a trained swine called the Learned Pig could tell time, could count, and other such tricks to entertain crowds. I'm telling you, there are some YouTube videos of people with their pet pigs that are awesome. These pigs, I want a pig. I used to live when I lived up in Plano off Legacy Village. This is where this whole thing started. There was a young married couple that had a pet pig. And they used to walk him down the street. It was so cute. He had a little full body harness. The little pig would walk down the street, and you'd stop and you'd pet him, and you'd rub his little head, and he'd immediately collapse and give you his belly like a dog. Oh, they're so cute. Today is also March 1st, Self-Injury Awareness Day. Self-Injury Awareness Day on March 1st each year focuses on increasing education and support on a misunderstood problem. When someone causes deliberate self-injury, okay. That's a terrible thing, and I'm not in a terrible thing mood. Don't harm yourself. Don't harm yourself. Look, take it from me. Take it from somebody who has depression issues and deals. Don't harm yourself. When you harm yourself, if you got people who love you, and every single one of you has somebody who loves you, don't do that to them. Okay, yeah, you want to do it to yourself, but you're doing it to them. Don't do it to them. You got to keep. Don't do it to them. All right, so there you go. Boy, I was thinking about this because CNN. I'm watching the coverage on the TV. They're doing all this war coverage. Russia launches more deadly attacks on sites in Ukraine. Yeah, they've been doing that for hours. Yeah, CNN. Breaking news. It's not breaking. It's developing. CNN is going to be airing the Anthony Bourdain documentary, Roadrunner. I think if you haven't seen it, it's if you were a fan of Anthony Bourdain, I was a huge fan of Anthony Bourdain. Huge fan. God, that I love that guy. My kid and I, during Lollapalooza a couple of years ago, were walking down Michigan Avenue in Chicago, and we saw him, and we walked alongside him. He was so nice to my kid. He was so nice to Mason. Mason's like, I watch you on TV. He was only like 7 years old or something. Anyway, so they're this documentary, Roadrunner. And for people who don't understand depression and what it does to you, just look at Anthony Bourdain. Was there a person that you've ever seen in whether it be on television or in your real life, was there a person who seemed to have a cooler existence, a better life, a greater setup than Anthony Bourdain? Anthony Bourdain, man, that is the life that I mean, every single one of us who've ever watched that show went, wait a second, this guy gets paid millions to do this stuff. He just so let me get this straight. His job is to travel and party around the globe and have really cool conversations with super interesting people. That's what he gets paid millions of dollars for. That's what he's become a big celebrity. That's the lane that he chose and found success in. Depression is a monster. That guy decided to check out. That is, oof. We always say that, you know, the whole, the curiosity, the horror of suicide, and you say, oh, it's Robin Williams. You know, Robin Williams had everything going. Well, Robin Williams did suffer from depression, but he was also he also had Lewy body disease, which he didn't tell anybody about, and the symptoms of that were getting really bad. So he's not really a great, you know. Anthony Bourdain is the guy you need to point to. Maybe Chris Cornell to a lesser extent, but Anthony Bourdain, you point to him and you go, why would that guy? Because you don't understand the disease. You don't understand it. All right, so let's get into what happened today. What is today all about? What is March 1st all about? What happened in history on this day, March the 1st? In 1845, United States President John Tyler, remember we talked about him the other day. John Tyler still has 2 grandsons that are alive. There are 2. He's got 2 grandkids. President John Tyler, one of the most forgettable presidents. You know, maybe Chester A. Arthur is up there with him. But one of the most forgettable presidents that we've ever had. Long time ago. Was born in 17-something, John Tyler. Grandkids are still alive. His grandkids are both like 100 years old. But still, how crazy is that? On this day in 1845, United States President John Tyler signs a bill authorizing the United States to annex the Republic of Texas. There you go. That's us right here. On this day in 1867, Nebraska is admitted as the 37th state of the United States. On this day in 1872, Yellowstone National Park is established as the world's first national park. I want to go to Yellowstone. I got a couple of rules, though. I don't want to go to Yellowstone and sleep on the ground in a tent. I want to go to a resort. I want to go to a fancy Yellowstone resort where I can go hiking with tours that are going to keep me away from the bears and all the scary stuff. And then at the end of the day, I can go to a nice air-conditioned hotel room in a nice resort where I can get a nice dinner in a restaurant there, where I can get a drink in the lounge. That's how I want to go to Yellowstone. I don't even tell, we're going camping in Yellowstone. Have fun. Have fun. That's not for me. But I do want to go to Yellowstone if we can do it right. On this day in 1932, aviator Charles Lindbergh's 20-month-old son, Charles Jr., is kidnapped from his home in East Amwell, New Jersey. His body would not be... Oh, geez. Okay, the Lindbergh baby was this day in 1932. I don't need to finish that. On this day in 1953, Soviet Premier Joseph Stalin suffers a stroke and collapses. He dies 4 days later. There's a really funny movie about this. Funny movie about a guy having a stroke? Well, it was Stalin, so, you know. Ha! It's called Death of Stalin, and it's comedy. It's a dark comedy. It's really good. If you see it anywhere, it is about how when Stalin basically had his stroke and was incapacitated, it's how the Kremlin and the people around him, the people who discovered the body, his butler, his chief of staff or whatever, it's how these people reacted to Stalin being dead, because they didn't want the world to know that he was dead. So they literally went all Weekend at Bernie's with Stalin for a few days. And that's what Death of Stalin, the movie's about. It's a comedy. It is a comedy about something that really happened. You can find it, I don't know, Netflix, Amazon Prime, something like that. It's good. It's just a couple of years old. Came out like a couple of years ago. It's very good. Death of Stalin. In 1998, Titanic, the film, became the first movie to gross over $1 billion worldwide, and that's pretty much it. That's pretty much it as far as Titanic sucked. I hated that movie. Titanic and Jerry Maguire are 2 movies from that era that people are like, they're so good. And I'm like, no, they're really not. Jerry Maguire was presented to me in the trailers when I agreed to go see it with my first wife, Sloan, when I agreed to go see Jerry Maguire, I was under the impression it was about the sports agency business. And that was something that was interesting to me. I didn't know it was a rom-com. I didn't know that like there was absolutely no detail, explanation, and exploration of the sports agency business. It was just about, you had me at hello. Oh God. And then Titanic, holy balls, is that movie a beatdown. I remember we saw this movie again with my first wife. We saw this movie at Water Tower Place in downtown Chicago. And in the lobby, they had a Galaga game. Remember the old arcade game, Galaga? And around this time, 1998, you didn't see Galaga anymore. You hadn't seen it in a good 10 years. And I'm sitting in the movie, and it's so slow. He's painting Rose, and there's all of this like real boring shit going on. And I look at my watch, I'm like, this is a 3-hour movie, and we're an hour into it, and there is nothing going on. And I remember I turned to her and I said, I'm going to go play Galaga. Like the movie, she's like watching this movie, and I go, I'm going to go play Galaga. Come get me when it hits the iceberg. That's all I wanted to see. I just wanted to see, what happened when it hit the iceberg. I didn't care about all of the stupid ramp up stuff. Oh God. Romantic subplots. They kill me with movies. If I know going in and I can prepare my mind for a nice look, I'm not a heathen. I can enjoy a rom-com if I know I love Sleepless in Seattle. I love Harry Met Sally. I like Pretty Woman. I like those movies. I knew going in. I was prepared. But when I'm thinking it's going to be something else, and then you hit me with this like 2 hours of, but I love you, I'm just going to be like, nope, you tricked me. I feel like a fool, and I will not be participating in this. How about some birthdays? Let's celebrate some birthdays. Harry Belafonte, he's 95 years old today. He was born on this day in 1927, American singer, songwriter, and actor. Harry Belafonte. I don't know much about Harry Belafonte. I know that a lot of people say he's an important guy. So good for him. 95 years old, Harry Belafonte. 1944, born on this day, a guy I had lunch with. That's right, Roger Daltrey, lead singer of The Who. I've told this story, so I won't bore you with the story. But I was an extra in a movie that he was the star of like 25 years ago or something. And he refused to eat with the stars. He came into the extras tent and sat with us. And he said that he didn't like Hollywood celebrities, so he'd rather just sit and eat lunch with all the extras. That was cool. Took questions. Everybody was chatting him up. Nice guy. Roger Daltrey. He was awesome. Born on this day and dead. I was reminded when I saw the birthday. I'm like, oh, I wonder how old he is. And I'm like, dead. What? Born on this day in 1947, Alan Thicke. Mike Seaver? Tom Seaver. No, baseball player. Father Seaver on Growing Pains. Let's play How Did Alan Thicke Die? I don't remember how he died. Let's see. How did Alan Thicke die? Let's fast forward to death. Alan Thicke was awesome, man. Alan Thicke was cool. Everybody loved Alan Thicke. On December 13th, 2016, Thicke collapsed while playing ice hockey with his son Carter at Pickwick Gardens in Burbank, California. The manager of the rink said he was talking and even joked to his son to take a photo as he was being wheeled out on a stretcher. Thicke died later that day of type A aortic dissection at the Providence. Oh, heart thing. Good Lord, he was 69 years old. That's too bad. I liked Alan Thicke. I like that guy. Do you know that Alan Thicke, before he became an American television star, he had two careers. He wrote theme songs for like all of these 1970s hit American sitcoms. Alan Thicke like wrote all of the theme songs. He's like him and his Gloria Loring. Was that his Thicke and Gloria Loring? That was his first wife and his writing partner. But also in addition to that, he was the Johnny Carson of Canada. He had like a really popular late night talk show. in Canada for years. And they tried to bring it down to America. And before he was on Growing Pains, he had, maybe it was on Fox, they brought his Canadian late night talk show, his Johnny Carson-esque talk show. They brought it down. It was called Thick of the Night. And it failed. It failed terribly. But whatever. Born on this day in 1954, Catherine Bach, the original Daisy Duke, Catherine Bach. Born on this day in 1954, Ron Howard, Little Opie Cunningham, born on this day in 1954, American actor, director, and producer. You know, when people talk about failed child stars and how difficult it is to be a child star and then sort of raise yourself up to being a normal human being and a successful adult, they never mention Ron Howard, do they? They never mention Ron Howard. Ron Howard's killing it. He was famous from the time he was 5 years old, and he's still famous. He's one of the most highly regarded film directors and producers of the last 40 years of American film. Born on this day in 1956, Tim Daly from Wings. Born on this day in 1958, Nick Kershaw, English singer, songwriter, guitarist. I only mention him because I like Nick Kershaw. I don't expect anybody else to know who he is. He was basically a one-hit wonder here in America, but he had a whole bunch of other really cool songs. Like, he's got like 10 huge hits in England they're on this compilation that I had like 20 years ago, and I liked them all, but they were all like, they never made it to be hits here. Wouldn't it be good? Wouldn't it be good to be in your shoes? That's like his only American hit. And it was probably in one of those John Hughes movies. But Nick Kershaw, happy birthday, born on this day in 1958. Born on this day in 1966, Zack Snyder. Snyder Cut of Justice League, possibly the coolest superhero film ever. Born on this day in 1969, Javier Bardem. Love Javier Bardem. Most recently, Ricky Ricardo in the Being the Ricardos film. Javier Bardem's great. Born on this day in 1994, The Biebs. It's Justin Bieber's birthday. Born on this day in 1994. Okay, so I'm older, so whenever I hear like Justin Bieber, I like roll my eyes and I'm like, oh God, who could like that crap? Yeah, guess who likes that crap? My 12-year-old thinks Justin Bieber is awesome. And not like in the way little girls 10 years ago liked them. Like Justin Bieber to this younger generation, he's like a legit star. He's not, we were like a YouTube kid who's cute, who all the 14-year-olds are going crazy over. Yeah, let's totally disregard him. But to my kid's generation, he's like what Justin Timberlake was to a generation 10 years ago. He's legit. My kid loves Bieber. And my kid has pretty cool taste in music, so he just doesn't have all that garbage, that garbage that we had where we completely marginalized Bieber from the very beginning. Apparently he's talented. Apparently the kids think he's talented. We had a couple of deaths on this day. Andrew Breitbart died on this day in 2012. He's an American journalist and publisher. Bonnie Franklin, Ms. Romano from One Day at a Time. She died on this day in 2013. Bonnie Franklin, American actress, dancer, and singer. And dead on this day in 2015, one of my personal heroes, the Cuban Comet, a.k.a. Mr. White Sox, Minnie Minoso. First black player in Chicago White Sox history. First Afro-Latin. First Afro-Latin player in the major leagues, first Cuban player in the major leagues, Hall of Famer, Minnie Minoso, Baseball Hall of Famer Minnie Minoso, played in 5 decades. God is one of only 3 people to have hits in Major League Baseball after the age of 50. Got a big statue of Minnie there at White Sox Park. Minnie's got himself a statue. Minnie Minoso is the reason that the White Sox have this pipeline. Nobody cares about your White Sox. I know, but I'm going to talk about it. Minnie Minoso is the reason the White Sox have this incredible pipeline to Cuban ball players. It's how we have all of the top Cuban national players. They sign with the White Sox in international free agency because we've retired Minnie Minoso's number and because we've got a statue of Minnie Minoso and he's known as Mr. White Sox. And because Minnie Minoso was such a national hero in Cuba, all of those kids who play baseball grew up. Minnie Minoso's like Cuba's Babe Ruth. They think of him that way, even though he's more of like a Willie Mays player. He was speed and hits. Happy birthday, Minnie Minoso. He's dead, though. He died in 2015. Oh, it's not his birthday. It's his death day, Minnie Minoso. All right, let's get into some of the trending topics here with the time that we have left. Once again, I will, if you can tip the show, please do. You can see all the ways right there that you can tip the show. We need a little bit of help this month. We're at the end of the month. Well, we aren't at the end of the month. We're late now. We're over into the next month. Trending today, State of the Union is trending in America. Tonight, President Biden makes his first State of the Union, to which I was like, wait a second, he's been president for a year. This is his first State of the Union? Shouldn't he have done? And I'm like, well, I guess you don't do a State of the Union in the first year. Is that a thing? I guess. I don't know. State of the Union, I could care less, man. I could totally care less. I just, ugh. I'll be watching war coverage. Or I don't know, maybe we do a watch party. Maybe we watch the State of the Union. We make fun of it. I don't know. Whoa. Okay, here we go. We got some air raid sirens going off. Let's see what's happening here. All right. At 10:05 local time in Kiev, we've got some air raid sirens. Unless somebody just hit it by accident. Some dude sat on it. Nope, here we go. No, we're hearing multiple sirens from multiple parts of the country. All right, let me jump over to the headlines. Let's see if the Russians don't want me talking about President Biden's State of the Union, and that's okay, because I wasn't gonna. Look at this. We seem to be we're ahead of the big news sources. The news sources like to jump in with air raid sirens going off. Nobody's done it yet. We're hearing them here. Yep, no mention here. Let's see. Oh, by the way, there's an update. All clear given at the active shooter incident there in Washington that we reported earlier today. Deputies have given the all clear. Lockdown at nuclear site in Washington State. All clear. Site is secured. Let me bang around on here and see if maybe we can get a better camera. Okay, this one is not giving us any. Did it stop? Nope. They're not that loud though, so wherever these are going, these might be on the outskirts. Okay, it sounds. I found a cam here, and it sounds like. Okay, let's switch over. This cam, I can hear the announcement. Remember yesterday we had very loud Dracula came on and was like, blah, 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 blah. This one sounds like we can hear it in the distance. With that said, there doesn't seem to be any sirens coming from this one now. That's good. That's good. All right, I've got a couple of live cams open. It sounds like the sirens have stopped. Okay, all right. So we will see where this goes. The air raid sirens went off briefly, and now they seem to have stopped. So I guess now we we spend the next 5 minutes waiting to hear the whatever, or maybe nothing. Okay. Let's get back into it. So State of the Union is happening tonight. Nobody cares. Joe Manchin is trending tonight because the Senate failed to get 60 votes that were needed to overcome a filibuster yesterday in an attempt to codify Roe versus Wade. This after Senator Joe Manchin voted against it. Basically what this means for all of you... Sorry, I thought I heard something. For everyone who feels that, abortion should stay legal, not a good sign. This basically means that Congress has no viable path now to keeping legal abortion nationally. If SCOTUS, the Supreme Court, which they have the numbers, if the Supreme Court guts Roe versus Wade in any way, shape, or form, Congress now, they can't defend it. There's nothing that Congress can do to stop. Yeah, so there you go. So it's a really bad day for legalized abortion in this country. Depending on what side you're on, it's either a good day or a bad day. But Joe Manchin is being the guy who's being blamed for it. Funimation, our very own local, formerly Texas-based. I think that they were purchased by somebody else. Funimation is trending today. Something called Crunchyroll has added all Funimation anime content as Sony starts to phase out the Funimation brand. I don't know anything about this. I know that I worked for Funimation about 20 years ago. I did some voices for some of their cartoons that they did, some of their Dragon Ball Z series. Sorry, I just thought I got distracted. And I really would have liked to have pursued that more, but I didn't. At the time, I was just like, if they call, they call. I mean, I would have loved to have done more animation voice work, but, that happens. Sam Elliott is trending. Sam Elliott. Come on. Who doesn't love Sam Elliott? Whole lot of people today. Sam Elliott is getting dragged. Boy, Sam Elliott went on Mark Maron's WTF podcast and basically took on Jane Campion, the director of Year of the Dog. Year of the Dog is that Western starring Benedict Cumberbatch and Jesse Plemons and who else? Kirsten Dunst. A whole bunch of people. It's winning all kinds of awards. They expect it to be one of the top contenders for Oscar Best Picture this year. I saw it. It's a little slow, but it's okay. I enjoyed it. I was like, yeah, it's a good story. Okay, I got into it. So Sam Elliott, who of course we all know, the mustache. Sam Elliott, who is certainly associated with American modern Western films. Sam Elliott had a hot take on Year of the Dog, or Power of the Dog. I'm sorry, Year of the Dog. It's the Year of the Dog. No, Power of the Dog. Power of the Dog is the movie. Sam Elliott had a hot take on Power of the Dog, and we're going to listen to it now. And this is why everybody is so mad at Sam Elliott. Yeah. Oh, you know who's really going to be mad? Wait, let me check the chat room. Adam Reyna, I hope you don't like Sam Elliott, because you're about to be disappointed. Sam Elliott has the radical left coming at him for his hot takes on Power of the Dog. All right, let's listen to this. Here he is. This was Sam Elliott's hot take.
Power of the Dog? Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, you want to talk about that piece of shit?
Oh, no. You didn't like that one?
Fuck no.
Okay, why?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I didn't like it anyway.
Yeah.
I looked at it when I was down there in Texas in 1883.
Yeah.
And what really brought it home to me the other day, where I said, do you want to fucking talk about it?
Yeah.
There was a fucking full-page ad out in the LA Times. And there was a review, not a review, but a
blurb?
A clip, yeah.
Yeah.
And it talked about the evisceration of the American myth.
Huh.
And I thought, what the fuck? What the fuck?
What does that mean?
This is the guy that's done Westerns forever.
For his whole life.
The evisceration of the American West. I mean, they made it look like, what are all those dancers, those guys in New York that wear bow ties and not much else?
Uh-huh.
Remember them from back in the day?
Oh, the Chippendales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what all these fucking cowboys in that movie look like.
Uh-huh.
Okay, wait. First of all, it's so cool that Sam Elliott doesn't have total recall on the Chippendales. He just remembers those fucking guys in the bow ties.
They're all running around in the day.
Oh, the Chippendales?
Yeah.
Yeah. Life.
The evisceration of the American West. I mean, they made it look like, what are all those dancers, those guys in New York that wear bow ties and not much else?
Uh-huh.
Remember them from back in the day?
Oh, the Chippendales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what all these fucking cowboys in that movie look like.
Uh-huh.
They're all running around in chaps and no shirts. There's all these allusions of homosexuality throughout the fucking movie.
Yeah,
he's true. It's right.
I think that's what the movie's about.
Yeah. Well, what the fuck does this woman from...
Who, Jane Campion?
Yeah. She's a brilliant director,
yeah.
by the way. I love her work.
Right.
Sounds like it.
But what the fuck does this woman from down there
Oh, New Zealand.
New Zealand.
Right.
Know about the American West? And why in the fuck does she shoot this movie in New Zealand and call it Montana?
It's good. This movie.
And say, this is the way it was.
It's got you, this movie.
So that fucking rubbed me the wrong way, pal.
Yeah.
And the myth is that they were these, macho men out there with the cattle.
Yeah.
I'd just come from fucking Texas where I was hanging out with families, not men, but families.
Yeah.
Big, long, extended, multiple generation families that made their...
All right. So I'll just... basically what Sam Elliott's problem with the movie is that he didn't like the depiction of all the cowboys who were out there in the range all by themselves. He didn't like that they were all like queering off with each other. He's got a problem with that. You can tell. And then the way he describes Chippendales, I love the negative spin that he puts on. You remember all them dancers? Dancers is like... He's throwing F-bombs left and right, but dancers is like to him the most obscene word that he offered. Whoa, boy. So people are obviously upset about Sam Elliott. And guess what? Sam Elliott don't give no fucks. The reason that people like Sam Elliott is because no fucks given by Sam Elliott. He embodies that attitude. I love Sam Elliott. I don't really care about that. That's an interesting take. But it's also exactly... I used to love Sam Elliott, and now I can't stand him after hearing that. What did you think Sam Elliott's take on something like that was going to be? You liked Sam Elliott before, but you didn't anticipate that maybe he'd have a problem. Let's get Sam Elliott's review of Brokeback Mountain. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear that. Sam Elliott's cool. Sam Elliott is cool in an old style kind of dead and gone. There will never be. We can tolerate Sam Elliott just fine because there's never going to be another Sam Elliott. Sam Elliott's the guy. I love 1883. I am loving 1883. I'm a big fan of Yellowstone, and 1883 is the prequel that takes place like 100 years before the event, or 150 years before the events of 140 years, maybe 140 years before the events of Yellowstone. And it's all about how the family depicted in Yellowstone became so powerful. It's about, Sam Elliott is an American institution with some hot takes that some people who cannot stand people having opinions that are different than mine don't like today. That's why Sam Elliott is trending. Here's somebody else who's polarizing. Mitch Trubisky is trending on all of the football sites. He's currently number 3 on my Twitter, but that just might be because the algorithm might say this is one that you're interested in. Mitch Trubisky is trending because Jordan Schultz of the NFL Network on Twitter says that Mitch Trubisky is drawing lots of free agent buzz. Several teams, including the Washington Commanders, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the New Orleans Saints, are all interested in the former number 2 pick. Sources say Trubisky is still just 27. The Buffalo Bills absolutely loved having him, and several execs around the league have told me that Mitch is viewed as a starting QB right now. As someone who has seen every game that Mitch Trubisky has started in what we now know was a train wreck offense created by a complete fool of a head coach, I think it's started. I think that Mitch Trubisky in 3 years took a team that had a garbage head coach with a ridiculous offense. He took that team to the playoffs twice in 3 years. And but he sucks. No, we don't know if he sucks. We know that he took a bad team to the playoffs 2 out of 3 years. That's what we know. And we also now know that the coach who was grooming him is a moron. Was an absolute moron. So I say give Mitchie, give him a clean slate. Let's see what he does somewhere else. Oh, let's see. What else do we have? What else is trending today? Lent is trending. Lent, I guess Lent starts tomorrow. Ash Wednesday is tomorrow. That's when we get to find out who all the Catholics are on TV news. Tomorrow's the day when all the Catholics they'll all be grandstanding. They'll all, they're all going to put the ash on their head. You'll see the ones with the ash on their head because they're the ones that just want you to know that even though you think I'm a liberal, I'm with God. I still have a religion. Whatever. That's going to happen tomorrow, Lent. That's the 6-week period where you're supposed to get, if you're Catholic, and I used to be, it's the 6-week period where we have to give something up. And I'm telling you, I'm going hardcore with Lent. Hardcore 6-week diet. I can do it. I'm going to run at least 2 miles every day. 2 miles is nothing. No, I know it's nothing. But if I just put it in my head that that's all I need to accomplish is 2 miles, then I can do it. And maybe I'll do 4. Maybe I'll push it. Maybe I'll do more. Maybe we'll see how it is once I'm out there. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm 6 weeks of just... Let's see, what did Leslie give me? Green beans. I'm going to do green beans. I'm going to buy like salads. I'm going to eat a head of lettuce. If I just have to eat a head of lettuce like an apple, I will eat a head of lettuce like an apple. I will pour the ranch dressing. Ranch dressing! It'll be low-fat diet, but take a bite out of the head of lettuce. Take a glug off of the ranch dressing. That's going to be my life for the next 6 weeks. And I expect you people to hold me to it. Such a fat loser. I want to do something tonight. I got to have Big Macs tonight. I got to have Big Macs tonight. If I'm going to commit myself to this Spartan lifestyle for Lent for the next 6 weeks, I got to get Big Macs tonight. Check my McDonald's app. By the way, if you like McDonald's and you think it's too expensive, like I do, the McDonald's app is great. The McDonald's app, it's almost like they pay you to get stuff on the McDonald's app. It's so cheap. I can get like 2 Big Macs for $3. You walk into a store and you try and get 2 Big Macs, it'll be like $9. Lent is trending. Also, Cain Velasquez is trending here. Boy, do you guys know who Cain Velasquez is? Cain Velasquez is a former UFC heavyweight champion. He's a 2-time UFC heavyweight champion. There was a point in time when Cain Velasquez was believed to be one of the most deadly heavyweights in the league. And then his poor career, man, injury. I mean, even with all of the injuries, the back surgeries and all of that stuff that he had to deal with, he was still a 2-time heavyweight champion. Cain Velasquez was a bad man. And I say was because he tried to kill somebody yesterday. There was a police chase. San Jose police have confirmed that former MMA star Cain Velasquez is the suspect in a shooting Monday near Monterey Highway and Bailey Avenue in Morgan Hill. Police have not released the circumstances or motive, but said one man was shot and taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries, and Velasquez was arrested. Velasquez was booked into the Santa Clara County Jail on suspicion of attempted murder and is being held with no bail. Police said Tuesday a motive is still under investigation. The former UFC heavyweight champion and wrestling icon was born in Salinas and lives in the South Bay area. The shooting was reported at 3:14 p.m. on Monday. Further details on the shooting were not immediately available. The motive and circumstances are okay. So this is NBC Bay Area that I pulled this story from. There are a number of other sources, MMA sources, MMA blogs and news sites and all that do have some of the details. It looks like this was a road rage incident. It looks like this is so bizarre to me. We'll wait and see what the details are. But if you are Cain Velasquez, easily one of the most deadly hand-to-hand combat fighters why do you need a gun? Why are you road raging with a gun? Why are you shooting somebody with a gun? Unless, like, he got out of his car and he had his gun because he's a responsible gun owner. And he got out of his car with his responsible gun owner gun. He got out of his car and the dude was like, "Hey, you want a piece of me?" And then the dude was like, "Holy shit, that dude looks like Cain Velasquez and he's huge." Remember, he's a heavyweight. He's like, "Oh my God." And so maybe the other guy went for a gun and that's why Cain. But if Cain Velasquez, one of the most dangerous men on the planet with his bare hands, if he just comes out of his car in a road rage incident shooting a gun, lock that son of a bitch up forever because he is a dangerous guy. He's already a dangerous guy without a gun. But if he's that quick to use a gun and pull the trigger, was he? We'll find out what the story is. But it is being described by a number of MMA sites. See, the story I just read to you came from NBC Bay Area. I'm guessing that the reporter who filed this story doesn't have the phone number of Cain Velasquez's best friend, the way like an MMA junkie or MMA news or whatever those sites might have. So they have been talking to people and it's coming out that it was a road rage incident. No other details, however. But oh my God, Cain, what are you doing? Cain, you were the first Mexican American champion. You were an icon. You were a guy that people loved. You seemed like a good dude, scary, but you seemed like a good dude. What are you doing road raging with a gun? You're Cain Velasquez. Michelle Tafoya, she is trending because apparently Michelle Tafoya, former sideline reporter for the NFL, she is guest hosting this week on The View. They are looking to slide her in, and today she basically claimed that she's a libertarian. And she's being called out by everybody that, a libertarian is basically this isn't what people are saying, but James Parker likes to claim that he's a libertarian. Do you know what a libertarian is? A A libertarian is somebody who is a far-right conservative who still wants to maintain relationships with some more progressive-minded friends. So they can't say that they're a far-right Republican. So they claim to be this third thing, a libertarian, because that's always been my take on libertarianism. Oh, so you agree with like all the things that the crazy people say and all that, but you're not one of them. Why? Because you like to hang out with guys who are in bands, because you're a creative person and you have to be, you have to be palatable to creative artists and stuff. So you're a libertarian. Libertarianism is bullshit. Libertarianism is just be who you are. Just say who you are. We need to all start just accepting that people are different and that we can all get along. Far lefty weirdos and far righty weirdos. Just gray. How about just the party of the gray, the middle, or would that be purple? Let's just be the purple party. Let's just do. Some people in the purple party are going to be assholes on both sides. People, here's newsflash: people are assholes. It doesn't matter what you are. People are assholes. But Michelle Tafoya is trending because she's getting slammed for saying, "I'm a libertarian." To which Sonny Hostin said, "Then why did you speak at CPAC?" And the whole crowd went, "Ooh," one of those kind of things. And then Michelle Tafoya said, "Because I'll speak to anybody." And it was like, "Yeah, well, you didn't speak to a progressive, the progressive meeting, whatever." It's like you spoke at CPAC. Because I'll speak to anybody. Whatever. I like Michelle Tafoya. I don't care. I honestly don't care what Michelle Tafoya's political leanings are. You know what? I don't care what your political leanings are. I don't give a shit. I really don't. We're not supposed to know. That's why we have a curtain when we vote. We're supposed to go in there, and that's supposed to be our time with our moral compass where we decide who we are. You're not supposed to come out going, "Guess who I voted for?" Don't. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. I don't want to know about your religion. I don't want to know about how you're saved. I don't want to know about how you think I'm going to hell. And I don't want to know who you voted for. And we can all get along. These are the bartender's rules. Any good bartender has a rule that if you walk in and you're going to sit at his bar and you're going to hang out for a while, you do not talk politics and you do not talk religion. And if you do, you lose your seat at the bar. Go sit over there. Go sit at the table over there. Go bother those people. But if I'm a bartender and I'm running my bar and I hear somebody start that shit, no, you're gone. Get out of here. Call the bouncer over. He doesn't have to leave the bar, but he cannot sit at the bar. He has to go somewhere else. Put somebody in there who wants to talk about cartoons from the 70s, because that's what we're doing at this bar. All right, let's run through and see if there's anything new that's trending. Let's see. Anything new? Adam Reyna with probably the first political statement that he's made in a while that I agree with wholeheartedly. Adam Reyna says there are good libertarians and there are bad ones. Just as there are good... Yeah, never mind. By the way, that woman, we showed the clip earlier today, and I wanted to give her credit. She was questioning Boris Johnson in Warsaw at the summit that EU or NATO members were having. I believe this is her. I think this is, I tried to get her name out there. I told you that I followed her. Oh, never mind. Forget it. Never mind. I was wrong. Me wrong. All right, let me run through here. Let me see what has been trending since I put together those. Let's see if there's more. Oh, there's my guy. There's Mr. Mustache, Sam Elliott. He's trending again. He's straight up at the top of the trends. State of the Union is still trending. Sam Elliott, Funimation, did all these. Fat Tuesday. WNBA is trending. Why? The New York Liberty were fined $500K by the WNBA for chartering flights in the second half of last season. The league's general, I don't know why that's a big deal. Chuck Todd is trending. I don't care. Tucker Carlson Russian asset is trending. That's funny. Not going there, though, even though, God. Andrea Mitchell, not going there either. John Bolton, not going there. Cain Velasquez trending. Bruce Arians. Why is Bruce Arians trending? What is happening with Bruce Arians? We'll do a quick little NFL story here. Why is Bruce Arians trending? Bruce Arians on whether Bucks would allow Tom Brady to go to another team. Arians says, nope, that's bad business. It is. Yeah, no way. You didn't get it's Taco Tuesday, that's trending. And March Madness is trending. All right, here we go. We're getting close to March Madness. That's it, folks. I think Will says there are good and bad what, Pugs? The good and bad libertarians. That's what Adam said. Adam said there are good libertarians and there are bad libertarians. But I have found that most people who claim to be libertarians are really just right-wingers who want to still hang out with dudes in bands, and they work maybe in creative fields. And so they can't go around saying that they're right-wingers, so they call themselves libertarians. And, you may think that a pejorative. Well, you said there's good and they're bad, but you're saying all libertarians are right-wingers. Because I don't think all right-wingers are bad. I don't. I don't think all left-wingers are bad. I don't think there are assholes among us in every single ideology that we can conjure up. There, you'll find an asshole in there, in that group. People are just inherently some assholes. There are some very admirable ideas and ideology attached to being a conservative, okay? There are. Just as there are some very admirable ideologies attached to being a progressive. There just are. It's the cartoonist nature by which we identify and define people by the overall platform of their associated party that is wrong. But I digress. All right, that's it, folks. I think we're done. I think I'm going to get out. Adam Rain and Mitch Trubisky sucks. Adam Rain doesn't know shit about football, so that doesn't bother me. He has never seen him play a game. He has listened to the likes of who? I don't know. People who also are the out-of-town commentators. You can't find one Chicago commentator who would echo that. You can't find one person who is in the sports world who has watched that who now says that sucks. It was time for him to go because he was broken by Matt Nagy, but sucks? You do not know what you're talking about. Not at all. I guess we're done. Here, gang. I would say the most on that subject of Mitch Trubisky sucks. He is such an absolutist. He's like a Nazi with his thoughts. You're like a Nazi with your opinions, Adam. You are one of the most closed-minded people who walk around thinking you're the most open-minded, but you are really closed-minded. Sucks? That is some heavy absolutism. I think it might be fair to say that we don't know, and that, based on everything that we know now about the system that he was in, he took a team to a playoffs 2 out of 3 years on a system that was last in the league. So I think the fair thing would be, see, I've seen him do great things. I've seen him. I'm like, yeah, man, that kid's got some zip. He can play. Get him with somebody. He can play. I've seen that. You haven't. So the fair thing, the open-minded thing would be for you to not be so declarative and say, I think we've seen enough, but I haven't seen anything good. But no, because you're a contrarian and because you're pessimistic and closed-minded, you're just sucks declaring. See, look at this, me and Adam going at it. I did miss you, though, yesterday. I saw that you weren't here, and I was like, where's Adam? What's going on? Did I make Adam mad? He knows that we don't really fight. All right, we're out of here. We are done. Yeah. See, that just shows right there. He scored like 16 points a season. That just shows how you don't know football. He was a kid being forced to run an offense by a guy who was calling plays, who has been revealed to be a guy who doesn't know anything about coaching. And he certainly doesn't know. When you're the head coach of a football team and you get play calling duties taken away from you because everybody's like, you don't know what you're doing, do you, Matt? You're still running this. Matt Nagy had a playbook that he created for the Arena League, and he thought that it would work in the NFL. And he shoved a rookie quarterback into this play. Stop it. I'm not getting into this. Fact of the matter is that Mitch Trubisky is a great kid. He has a great attitude. He never broke bad on his coach, even though everybody now knows that it was his coach that was screwing everything up. Yes, Justin Fields does look way more better because Justin Fields is a far better quarterback than Mitch Trubisky. He's a far better quarterback. Do you think I'm arguing that Mitch Trubisky is Joe Montana? No, I'm arguing that the kid got screwed and he needs to have another chance. And by the way, you and I sitting here arguing, the story that's trending is about all of these professional football observers who are saying he is a starting quarterback. There are far more people who are considered experts in the field, who are saying what I'm saying. You're echoing a bunch of fancy suit wearing ESPN pundits who are out of market brilliant. You know what out of market brilliant is? Those are the people that we hear saying Dak Prescott sucks. They don't watch the games. They don't understand what he is to the team. They don't see the whole package, but they're out of market brilliant. White quarterbacks always seem to get the benefit of the doubt. Really? Who was the starting quarterback of the New Orleans Saints last year? That dude sucks and has sucked for years, and yet he's still a starting. Come on, man. Don't turn it into a race thing. See, here we go. Now it's got to be a race thing. Now it's got to be a race. It's got to be a what? Nobody thinks black quarterbacks can't play quarterback anymore. If anything, the league has switched to if you are a white quarterback, then you're somehow seen as less. I don't want to have this. We're not doing sports here. We're not doing sports. I love you. I love you all. We're all friendly. It's nice out today, isn't it? Wasn't it just like freezing? Hold on, let me see. Let me see what the weather is. 2:40. All right. 2 hours and 40 minutes is good. If anything pops off in the war, and by the way, we've got the cameras. We'd have heard them if they'd have gone off. I'm just not showing them. But we would have heard some camera action, some sirens if they were going off. We just had the one sirens that were blasting about 20 minutes ago. Seems like nothing came from that. It is 75 degrees right now, and I am sitting here in a sweater. That's why I'm so hot. I really thought that it was the air conditioner. I really thought that it was the heat that I had on this morning. All right, folks, I got to go. Adam, we're done. Yeah, but see, I can move on. I can move on from the quarterback, and you're not going to pull me into some, white quarterback, black quarterback argument. That is so 1989. I am not going to have that. But I appreciate you, and I thank you for the discourse. Okay, we'll be back. At the very least, we'll be back at 9 o'clock for Pugs and Parker. But again, keep it near the studio. Keep it near the stream, as I say, because if we do have some things, if this spooky column of 40 miles long of Russian military hardware does make it to Kiev and stuff starts happening, I'll jump back on the stream. Oh, also, I'm doing that now for everything. Every big news story now, I'll be jumping back on the stream and we'll just be covering it in real time. And maybe it'll be a 20-minute stream. Maybe it'll be a 5-hour stream. Who knows? It depends. But I really have enjoyed this new thing of jumping on during the war and doing coverage and just all of us getting together and watching it unfold in front of us. I think that's that is sort of what I intended this to be in the beginning. I love doing the High Noon Show, and the High Noon Show isn't going away. The Pillow Talk Show, I value my time with James. That's a fun hour. I look forward to that as well. So those aren't going away. But in addition, I am going to dedicate myself to doing more breaking news, celebrity deaths, somebody big and famous, not even a celebrity, but somebody big passes away. We'll get on and we'll try and break it. Because as I've been seeing with this war, we, the people who are streaming, we get the information way before the mainstream media, way before. So there's an opportunity to sort of be first. Also, a much bigger opportunity to be wrong. But hey, who are we? We have no credibility. All right, guys, love you. We'll talk to you soon. And again, keep it close because I'll jump on if something. What was that? Did you just hear that? Looks like there's like a snowstorm or a rainstorm. Here, let me pull up the camera one last time before I jump away. Look at this. Look at all these cameras. It looks like there's like a pouring down rain. I wonder if rain affects war. I can't imagine that it does. I think war is just war, right? Weather be damned. Yeah, I don't know. All right, folks, we'll see you. Appreciate you. Again, tip the show if you can. but I'm not going to bust your balls over it. But we could use the help. This month was not great. Okay, bye, everybody. Have fun. Keep it near. We'll be back if something happens. If not, see you tonight at 9 for Pillow Talk. I'm Pugs Moran, Radio